It's time to add some spice to your nooner. Nooner funny. This is the place where big-time guests, bold opinions, and little cute doggies come together. This is Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
All right, the holdout is over. I had to come back to work. That's how it goes.
Did you get all your demands?
I negotiated for a younger picture on a press release and got it. That's what I negotiated for.
Well done.
Good to have you guys with us. Rothman and Ice. Ice is out getting his last little spell before football season, as we all do. Adam King to my right from 10 TV, coffee in hand, Coke bottle in hand, and some sort of energy bar that he claims will get him to 5 o'clock today, but I am calling BS on that. And my boy Chops, congratulations. I know it's, is it out there or should I not?
It is out there, yes. I announced it officially on the air on Monday.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I didn't steal that from you and your wife.
Real quick, you put out a tweet when you first got it about a 5-star 24/7. And I didn't look at the pictures, and I was like, who in the world committed? Nobody committed today. What's he talking about? And finally, after scrolling through, I went back to his tweet.
You just read
I just read the headline and kept scrolling, trying to figure out. And I'm like, oh.
Joke went right over your head.
Yeah.
Is April 1st a tough day of the year for you?
It's probably the worst, honestly. I don't leave the house on that day.
The reason that we held Chops over for overtime, and he can put it on his little time card, is that I walked in and he looked at Adam King and said, "You're going to do the hats again." Like when I said, "No, we're not doing the hats again. Like, get some new material. This isn't like I'm working a comedy club for 3 days and I could just do the same show. That's not it." And then you said, "Oh, yeah, and another thing."
We were talking about this earlier this week, or it was last week. It was one of the poll questions, the fan poll. You can find it on 971thefan.com. And it was circling around, what do you think of fall weddings? Will you attend if it's a relative, or will you be mad because of the college football season? And we have this debate every year, and I think most people who wanted to say something about it have, and we can retire it. There's a few internet conversations that come up every so often, and I think that these are definitely on my list of the fall wedding one we can retire. Is hot dog a sandwich? I never need to talk about that ever again in my entire life. And is Die Hard a Christmas movie? It's great. We've all had fun having that conversation. If you want to watch Die Hard on Christmas, awesome. But we don't have to talk about it every single December. Come up with some new online questions.
Get the applause. Well done. Absolutely. I like that. And I was going to add another one, but I think I'm not sure I want to do it because we'll probably have to do it. I'm done with the ranking of sides at Thanksgiving. I'm done with it. Right? Like, we don't need to do that. We have football to talk about at that point. I don't even know that you like sweet potatoes and he likes mashed potatoes. Like, I
like stuffing, first of all.
All right, sorry. Stuffing? I'm staying. If your mom's serving it.
I think around it, it's okay for everybody to talk about their...
Nobody got it. What?
It's okay to talk about your favorite Thanksgiving foods for sure, but we don't need to do an actual power rankings one, or a bracket of which Thanksgiving side is the best.
Or just the constant brackets in March that have nothing to do with anything and don't make any sense.
People we like the basketball and the sport of it, and it's exciting, and it happens to feed into a bracket, but we don't like brackets just in general.
I don't need you to do a bracket of the best fast food chains every March. We decided this last year and the year before and the year before.
I got a funny story about brackets, actually. So we are...
hang on. We'll define funny. Go ahead.
That sentence has never been uttered before, just to be clear.
Don't start with, I have a funny story. Start with, I have a story, and then we'll determine whether it's funny.
All right. I think it's funny. As we were talking off the top, I'm having a baby. Well, J-Lo's brother is
You're not really having one.
Okay.
Are you?
J-Lo is having a baby.
Yes. Your wife is having a baby.
And J-Lo's brother, his wife, is having a baby. There we go. I said that one correct. And they're doing a little bit before us, but they were talking about, well, what are we going to name it? And they're like, we're actually going to set up, we came up with the top 16 names that we like, and we're going to put it into a bracket. And we're like, okay, that's cool. And so when they announced the gender, they showed us the bracket, and we were texting in the family group chat, and we were like, so how do we vote? What do we do? How do we know who goes on? And the mother goes, actually, none of you will have any input in this. And I was like, Well, then, so it's just you guys deciding on a name? I mean, that's just what every couple does for a name. Then 2 weeks later, never any update on the bracket. We just get the name, the champion, the winner. Nobody ever gave anything in it. And I was like, I don't think you know what a bracket is.
That's how the college football playoff is going to work. They're going to release a bracket, and then they're just going to announce the champion 2 weeks later.
There you have it.
Yeah.
More committees. So are you going to have a committee of names? People are going to...
We are not. We have a name that we've picked out. That
Let me guess. Brundon. Most popular baby names, 1984. Look it up.
Okay. It's not Brundon.
Why do you have that kind of...
Because it's a quote from Night at the Museum, one of them.
Wait a minute.
I thought one of you guys would get it, especially him.
I love Night at the Museum.
The one with Jonah Hill.
Is that the third one?
That's all I know.
I don't think I've ever in my life heard someone quote Night at the Museum. Well done.
Thank you. He's wearing a tag, and Ben Stiller goes... Brandon? He goes, no, Brundon. Most popular baby names, 1984. Look it up.
Okay, so, Brundon. I think you said Brundle the first.
Theodore.
No, it's Brundon.
You going Theodore?
No, but there might be a T involved in there. I'll give you that. I joked on the show that it was going to be Bishop Laurinaitis Finch. But that's what I was going to name the baby. It is a boy, though.
Name him
How many times do you want him to get his butt kicked?
Trust me, we've had the conversation already.
I mean, Atticus Finch.
Honestly, that is pretty strong.
I think it's pretty cool, too.
It's hard to beat.
How about this? How about red-breasted? Can we call him that?
Red-breasted Finch.
Well, that's what I said. Like, what if we named...
Is there a red-breasted here? Red-breasted?
The state bird of Iowa is the golden finch. And I was like, can't we just name the kid Gold Nick Finch and then Golden Finch?
Let me ask you guys this real fast, as long as we're on baby names. So, remember the Seinfeld when George wanted to name his baby Seven, right? And he gave it to the friends.
Okay.
And then they wound up using it, and he was all pissed because now he can't use it, or somehow they heard about it. And I started thinking to myself, well, we have Seven Banks, Ohio State, like a former Ohio State player. And I'm wondering, like, what episode was that? What year was that in Seinfeld? And then someone actually used it. So anyway, that's it. It's not a funny story, but it's
that's an interesting
observation.
An interesting feature piece.
That's right. A side piece.
Yes. Hey-oh. Can we get the ruling? Did my bracket story reach funny, or was it merely amusing?
Funny how?
I mean,
like you were a clown? You were here to amuse us?
Exactly like that.
Where are you on the funny scale?
It was a 6. I mean, if my hat bit was at 10, it's hard to top that. Well, I just love that he was the show before us, went home, lived his life, and still heard about the hats. That means a lot to me.
Well, I was here that day, and I remember you coming out and stealing T-Bone's his hard hat.
That's
during
devastating.
one of the
So everything
breaks.
I just said is not accurate at all. He just saw it happen in person.
That's right.
Moving on.
He wasn't in the chat.
He wasn't in the chat. You got to get in the chat.
This is a nice transition for me. I do want to ask you something about the CBJ. You guys did a story this week about the Line A trade.
Yeah.
First of all, if we connect all the dots, I know everyone's like celebrating this trade as something great because they got up from the money, which is fine. I think you have to celebrate that. That's more money to buy free agents and move along. I get it. But essentially, you traded – essentially, the defenseman they got is you drafted him 3rd overall because that's where you drafted PLD, who you turned into Patrick Line and Roslovic, who are gone. And now he's been traded, and you gave up a 2nd rounder. If you want to go end to end, it's basically you drafted this defenseman 3rd overall.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a great – piece of history for the organization.
It's we had the poll question on Tuesday when the news broke Monday afternoon, and the poll question on Tuesday was like, what do you think of this trade? And I was like, well, for where they were at right now, it was a good trade. Like, this was the best you could do, and now you're out from under the money. But yeah, if you take it all in, or even just portions of it, even if you just go from when you traded for Line A, it's a failure to capitalize on that investment completely.
The Don did a good job. This wasn't on him. He didn't draft PLD, and PLD was a good draft pick at the time. He's supposed to be your guy for the next 10 years. And so it was interesting. I think the optics of what's happening with this organization are probably very real. The perception is real, and the optics. I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that Yarmo and JD brought in the veterans to ask their opinion on the room. They gave their opinion and said, "Thanks for opinion. You can now leave." Like, there's no way in my mind. I'm not buying it. I think they all went for different reasons at different times, and I don't think that's how Yarmo would do business. Ask vets for their opinion. We don't agree with their opinion, so we're going to trade you?
That does seem off. It's what Porty reported when we had him on Tuesday. It's funny, the Browns are kind of going through a similar thing right now, where some people were celebrating the Cade York trade. Oh, they got a 7th for Cade York, and D-Hop is just coming back from the injury. They'll be fine. It's like, yeah, but 2 years ago, they spent a 4th-round pick on Cade York.
Right. Now, I hate expounding in the past when people do that, when you take, what happened 10 years ago in that trade, but how
do you feel about fall weddings?
You know what? I'll tell you this much. I'd like to, somebody in the chat, shout out to the chat, said you should put a bracket together of things you hate bracketing. And I love it.
But the inner bracket hate.
Yes, bracket is the one seed in the bracket, things I hate.
Yes. Did Patrick Line not pan out here? Of course. This was not the idea. But you got him on the ice. You had times with him. You had great moments with him. You can't put that into... you can't quantify that.
No, you traded a 40-goal scorer for a defenseman. I'm telling you.
And not a star defenseman, just a fine defenseman.
No, it's a fail. Yeah. It's not a science. There are draft picks that don't work out. The PLD, whether he's homesick or a malcontent, look, he's been traded again. So I'm not saying, it feels like that we do this a lot, and it's okay because now all those guys now all these guys are gone, and so now everyone can speculate. You're allowed to speculate when everybody's gone. Yarmo's not here to defend himself, and the others aren't here to defend themselves, so we can speculate, and that's what we do. I'm just telling you, I wasn't in the room, but if the vets voiced their opinions, I don't think they were getting traded because of it. I don't buy that. Was it frustrating to watch as a teammate of Patrick Laine if guys were pushing him? I guarantee guys were pushing him and vets were pushing him, and whether he didn't like it or not. But you can't tell me that management didn't like that. No, it's just that's the way it is. But everyone went for different reasons at different times. You're going to throw them all in the same pot and say they all voiced their opinion so now they can leave? Why would you ask a veteran of his opinion on the room and then take it and then use it against him?
But that, I guess, appears to be the perception of those guys who left town. And that's the other side of the thing. And I don't know who's going to talk to Yarmo next or you're going to be able to ask him about it. But, he's not currently really anywhere. I mean, where is Yarmo?
That's the question. Where is Yarmo?
Finding Yarmo?
Finding Yarmo.
Why don't you get on that story? It seems like a lot of time on your hands.
I've got nothing but time to find Yarmo.
Coffee, zone bars, sitting in traffic.
Listen. Yeah. This is why I don't leave my house before 2 o'clock every day. There's no traffic at 2 p.m.
in Columbus, Ohio. Chops, this was a nice transition for me back in after the holdout. I'm happy you stayed.
Would I not have been a nice transition?
I just felt like when he was leaving, there was a nice conversation. I think he should get credit for it.
You're a couple of goldfish going back into the big tank, and I was the bag of water from the pet store that got to acclimate to it. And now you guys can get out of the little bag and go into the big tank of water.
Did you just come up with that right on the spot?
I did.
Wow. This guy. Well done.
I just save all my best stuff for when somebody asks me to be on a different show.
We didn't even kick you out middle of the segment. We let you hang out for the whole deal.
Have you done that?
No. I was almost going to say, after you gave your little bracket story, I was going to say, all right, thanks, have a great day. But I think that would have been a weird transition. We're going to transition out of this. I know this is something you guys talked about on Bishop and Friends. Urban Meyer heaping more praise and more pressure on the Ohio State for this year. You'll hear it next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Common Man has spent the past 18 years telling you how much he hates people. And yes, that probably means you, too. Common Man and T-Bone.
Weekdays at 3.
The Fan.
Hot under the collar? Call Care Heating and Cooling and we'll fix that fast. 1-800-COOLING.
Hi, I'm Joanna Williams, General Manager at Tansky Sawmill Toyota, and this month 0% financing is back by popular demand on the 2024 Toyota Tundra for 48 months. But hurry in before they're gone. Visit TanskySawmillToyota.com for details. And when you think Toyota, think Tansky with approved credit, tax title, and $250 doc fee not included. Offer ends August 30th.
Think Toyota. Think Tansky. Think Tansky.
When there's a United Dairy Farmers nearby, made from scratch ice cream is too. Stop by while 2-dip cones are buy one, get one free. All flavors, including peach and cookies and cream. UDF ice cream, made for you.
Bob's Discount Furniture is coming to Polaris, and Bob's Discount Furniture wants you to win big this football season. It's easy. Get online and go to 971thefan.com to register to win a $1,000 gift card to Bob's Discount Furniture, so you can watch your favorite football team sitting in your new Bob's recliner or couch this season. Wow. That's $1,000 from Bob's Discount Furniture. All you have to do is register to win on the fans contest page at 971thefan.com. Hurry, contest ends Wednesday, August 28th. See complete contest details online at 971thefan.com.
Oh my. OAR. Live in concert. Summer Tour 24. August 29th at Kimba Live Outdoor. With special guests, Right and DJ Logic. Buy tickets now at AXS.com and the Penn Station box office. OAR Live, brought to you by Bud Light Seltzer and Promo West Productions. We don't talk about politics on The Fan. Instead, we welcome Buckeyes fans, NFL fans, and anyone looking to escape the never-ending cycle of misery. You're safe here, friends. The Fan, home of the Buckeyes and Ohio's politics-free destination.
Direct Auto Insurance is for uncompromisers. The people who refuse to make trade-offs in life. Like Kelly, when her old car insurance got so expensive that she couldn't afford to drive anymore, do you think she started carrying her groceries for miles? No. But she did find Direct Auto's savings that allowed her to drive instead of compromise. With savings of up to 25%, you too can stop compromising and keep driving. Get a quote today at directauto.com. Savings based on applied discounts and will vary. Terms apply. How you buy can affect price. National General Group, Winston-Salem.
Hey, it's Anthony here from my friends at Germain Honda of Dublin. Rich is rolling out all of his new Hondas at 2.9% up to 60 months. Just not including the Civic Si and Civic Type R, but all the other awesome new Hondas, 2.9%. You love certified? He has the dream deal. 0.99% APR for 36 months on the 23s and 24s, Civics, HRVs, CRVs, pilots, and passports. When you think Honda, you have to visit Germain Honda of Dublin, Sawmill Road, just south of 270.
Trust. Not everyone deserves it. Not everyone should have it. It needs to be earned. Your trust. And when it comes to accurate information about Ohio's safe and secure elections, where should you turn? VoteOhio.gov. VoteOhio.gov is the source for providing you with the facts and real information about elections. So no matter where you are, what you do, or who you choose, get the real facts about Ohio's elections. VoteOhio.gov, your trusted elections source. Sponsored by the Ohio Secretary of State, Frank LaRose.
Healthcare.gov is here for you when life happens. If you lost your health coverage because of turning 26, going off Medicaid, leaving your job, or moving, you could be eligible to enroll in new coverage now. And if you need to update your coverage because of marriage or having a baby, you could also be eligible. But don't wait. There's a limited time to enroll. Check your eligibility at healthcare.gov today. Life happens. Get covered. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We're looking at a pretty nice day today. Sunshine all afternoon. Temperature going to make its way up to around 80 degrees for the high, light winds throughout the day. Tonight, clear skies, mid-50s. We'll be back up toward the mid-80s for Friday as sunshine continues all day long. Temperatures push near 90s Saturday, hitting the 90s for most by Sunday. Humidity creeping up through the weekend as well. I'm 10 Weather Impact meteorologist Michael Behrens with your latest forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365 is the exclusive online sportsbook of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
All right, 10 TV's Adam King in with me today. Inching closer to football season. We'll have Dalton Wasserman, bottom of the hour, Pro Football Focus. We'll do some college and pro with him. Or whatever he likes. Well, I know what you like. Or I know what I like. What do you like? Whatever you like. Yes, I know what I... What's that from? I know what I like, but what do you like?
You got to give me a hint. Give me a hint.
Whatever you like.
I don't know. I'm out.
Nothing? Fake?
I got nothing.
Whatever you like.
I have no clue.
Coming to America.
All right.
You
You know they made it Coming to America too?
Haven't seen it, but I didn't hear... Wasn't there a new Beverly Hills Cop recently?
Mm-hmm.
My brother said it's very good. I'll like it.
You know, I was... one thing about my life growing up, I was raised on Eddie Murphy, Ace Ventura, and
you started out as
Jim
a child?
Carrey. I started out as a child, a mere 0-year-old kid. And Eddie Murphy, Jim Carrey, I mean, those kind of guys carried my childhood through. Mr. Deeds was my kind of...
making sense now.
Now you know everything.
It's becoming clear. We'll have Dalton on later this hour. By the way, Gold Jacket Thursday coming up at 1:33 as well. And this is kind of funny because I love this guy and I hated him all in the same breath. And I'll tell him at 1:33. Urban Meyer has heaped a lot of praise on this squad. And with it has come a lot of pressure. Now, everybody knows the expectation, but how he's illustrating this and talking about it makes me feel like he knows exactly what they have. Because most coaches, even former coaches, and maybe Urban's just full-fledged media guy and happy he's doing it. This is the latest. And Bake, this is on Mark Ingram's podcast. Is that right? I believe.
I'm not sure if that's the podcast. I just
they're on it together.
It's a new podcast that they started up, all three of them.
Okay,
all right,
so it's all of their podcasts.
All right, let's hear Urban Meyer heaping a good spoonful of praise and pressure.
I talked to Jim Tressel about this. I've read about him. I've watched him. This might be the best roster in college football in the last decade. As far as NFL talent, as far as depth, you got the second string running back, whoever it is going to be probably a first-round draft pick. I mean, they are loaded. They got Will Howard is going to be a big question mark, but I think the combination of him and Chip Kelly, the new offensive coordinator, they're married for each other. He's an athletic quarterback. He's surprisingly fast. I was told he ran 22 miles an hour at practice, which, you know, you're sub 4.5. That's fast. And he's a big dude. I think he's the perfect fit.
By the way, I felt like there was a drum roll in the back going on right there. Mm-hmm. So it's interesting that he is not doing the coach speak at all anymore. Like, hey, you got to play him one game at a time. We'll see. It's a long season. It's about having depth. Like, we know what this season's about. I think the reason you can go all in like this if you're Urban Meyer, one, you know the talent they have. Number two, you also know that one slip up does not eliminate you and doesn't put you in the help category of needing help. Now, Ohio State has the brand and talent where they win out all the tiebreakers, usually. They usually win every tiebreaker. They even won that tiebreaker, you know, when they lost to Penn State, hadn't lost the Big Ten because Penn State had a couple bad losses. But I do feel like this season of all seasons, and I've said it for a few weeks now, the scariest part about the expanded playoff is for the teams that have that lightning in a bottle season that don't get the big boys eliminated because of it. They still have to face them because it doesn't matter whether they've one or two losses. You're getting in.
I'm very curious about why Urban keeps saying this stuff. Yeah, I don't know if you remember, but at a golf outing earlier this year, he said to me when this could be the greatest team ever. And when he said it, I looked at my photographer. I'm like, well, that's wow. Okay. And I just think, I think if I was Ryan, I would just say, please stop. Please, we just want to get to the season. But the problem is, I don't think he's wrong. I think he's exactly, the cool thing is, I don't know if cool is the right word. The interesting thing is I think Urban believes that. And that goes back to a roster 10 years ago that won a national title right here in Columbus. So it's bizarre, but it's not far off. And I think you're right. I think this roster has the ability to do something that none in Ohio State history, in all the years and all the seasons, no one has been able to go into a road game or go into a game and say, you know what, that Oregon game is going to be phenomenal. It's going to be an amazing game. And if they walk away with a loss, it means nothing.
Well, it doesn't mean nothing because you are playing for the bye. You are trying to set yourself up for a playoff run.
But it doesn't. You're not eliminated in any means. There's
correct.
No person that's going to look at that and say, wow, you lost on the road at Oregon to a team that's, one of the best teams in the country. Wow, you shouldn't get a shot. Whereas in years past, I mean, there are a lot of Buckeye teams, if you look at, that stumbled one game along the way. I mean, even go back to the year that they went on the road to Iowa and lost that game after just coming back in that massive upset against Penn State, and it was phenomenal. JT Barrett down the stretch. That team would have gone to the playoffs.
Yeah.
There are so many years that didn't get this opportunity.
I didn't call that loss, but I remember doing the show with Bobby that day, and I think he has given me credit for that because we came in that Friday to diagnose that game, and I said, I don't care about anything else in the world. Just defend the tight end. Just Fant and Hawkinson, like that's all I cared about. And then I came back on Monday and I looked in and said they were chasing shadows all day and it wasn't even sunny. Like, it was crazy how good they were that day. And I think when Ohio State enters this season, they have remarkable talent. Urban's correct. The question mark is real on what Will can be at his ceiling. But I think the reason that everyone's so confident is because the missing piece that Ryan Day certainly probably feels he had to upgrade was that grit. Something about an experienced, veteran, grizzled quarterback who will just go get it when I need him to. And this wasn't to disrespect Kyle McCord, because they had a season in on. They could have kept seasoning him. But I think when you lose to Michigan for the third straight time and you want to push all your chips in the middle, they weren't willing to do that with Kyle McCord.
I think that the very interesting part of the Will Howard saga is, if you're a Buckeye fan, I think you should start to get excited. I think the question marks are starting to fade. I think, is this guy going to live up to the expectation? Is he going to fit this mold of a team that so many want to be the greatest, as you just heard Urban say, in the last decade, to the point where I think he might be a compliment to this offense. The way that Chip Kelly is talking about using him, the way that Ryan Day is talking about it, the way that, as you just said, he just wants to be a gamer. He just wants to go get that first down. I think instead of being nervous, and I understand the thought process last year with Kyle McCord, it was an interesting year, but I don't think you should be nervous if you're a Buckeye fan for Will Howard to get out there. I think you should be excited to see what this all looks like.
Yeah, because he has, as Urban alluded to, versatility at the quarterback position, and he's a vet. Like, you check two fairly big boxes, experience and versatility. Now, as far as execution goes, that's the number one. How good is he? How talented is he? And when will you need him to actually win a game with his arm, which, by the way, Kyle McCord did at Notre Dame when you needed him to. And so, I don't know, but the great thing about this season for Ohio State is that they're so laser focused on winning this year that being that humble but knowing you're great is a dangerous combination. Like, that's it. It's not like Georgia. Georgia knows. Well, they've been to the top of the mountain. Like, they know they planted the flag. Ohio State is still trying to get there. That motivation with everybody being all in. Now, there's pressure involved in that for sure. How they live up to that, we'll see. But the beauty is they get a get-out-of-jail-free card if they lose to Oregon, and they may even get another one. Now, if they do lose two, then you start questioning, well, how good are they really? And then it becomes a whole different conversation. Maybe they're not as good as advertised, but at least you're in the tournament.
You said something early on in this that I think I might use as a take for this year. I don't think it matters how many games the Buckeyes lose as long as they get in the playoff. And I think if they're
in that.
Yes.
Outside of a catastrophic stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so in that regard, I think that Ohio State would be, if I'm in Vegas, the favorite in any playoff, no matter how 1 through 12 go.
Outside of stuff you don't know right now.
Yes, outside. Yeah. And I think that's remarkable.
We'll ask Dalton Wasserman about it from Pro Football Focus next. Rothman and Ice on The Fan.
Big voice guy here to remind you that you're listening to The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Okay, thanks. I have 3 more seconds. Bye-bye.
At Baths R Us, we're terrible roofers. We stink at installing siding. And don't ever call us for your kitchen remodel. But if you want a stunning, beautiful bathroom makeover in just 2 or 3 days, now that's when you want to call us. See, unlike most contractors these days, we offer only one service, bathroom remodeling. We don't spread ourselves thin by doing roofing or siding and a bunch of other stuff. Nope. At Baths R Us, we dedicate every company resource into mastering the craft of bath transformations. It's why we're the Midwest's biggest 5-star family-owned bathroom company. And it's why we have the happiest customers. Just check out our Google reviews. Baths R Us. We're terrible roofers, but we're awesome bathroom remodelers. Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel. Plus, low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsrus.com. Baths R Us, where dreams soak in.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for over 30,000 mouth-watering choices with savings beyond low price. Fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
During our Fresh Tyson Chicken full line sale, mix and match select varieties and buy one get one free with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
It's Toyota's National Sales Event, the perfect time to extend your summer fun in the all-new, all-hybrid Camry. Now through September 3rd, choose 5.25 APR financing on any new 2025 Camry. Or you can lease a Camry LE for $319 a month for 36 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS, tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Guess what? Our ugly faces are on YouTube. Search 971 The Fan and watch all your favorite shows. Laptop, phone, tablet, smart TV, we're everywhere. Bring us in the bedroom with you. Yes, The Fan.
Hey, Buckeye fans, ready for the chance to win one of 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences? As the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, Roosters is kicking off an incredible giveaway you won't want to miss. We're talking tickets, sideline passes, a trip for two to the Oregon game, and exclusive access to the Ryan Day Coaches Show. Go to roosterswings.com to register and see all the details. 3 drawings, 12 winners. Register today and every day. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
By the time you're finished listening to this Pepsi Zero Sugar, you'll be 15 seconds closer to kickoff. Stock up now. Bengals game day is so close, you can almost taste it. Bengals watching. Better with Pepsi.
It's the summer sell down at Performance. Get up to $16,000 off MSRP on new 24 Jeep Wranglers and Grand Cherokees during the Make This the Summer of Jeep event. Performance, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, Georgesville, and Delaware.
Not valid on previous sales. Cannot combine offers. Must take delivery from dealer stock 8/20 to 8/31/24.
This year, Dell Technologies Back to School event is delivering impressive tech with an inspiring purpose. Learn how Dell is helping Computer Aid, whose work is helping solar community hubs with tech and AI literacy skills to empower remote, displaced, or disconnected communities around the world. Help Dell make a difference and shop AI-ready PCs powered by Snapdragon X Series processors at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Listen, learn, lay the points. This is Rothman and Ice.
All right, he's a Pro Football Focus analyst, contributor, co-host at PFF College Football Show with our guy Max Chadwick. He's Dalton Wasserman. Dalton, welcome back.
How's it going? Appreciate you guys having me back on.
Outstanding. We're happy to talk college football with you. We just got done talking a little bit about Ohio State. And, I said to Adam that, you're sitting here in a season with an expanded playoff. And let's say you get a team like, let's say Ole Miss, catches lightning in a bottle and they would get into an old 4-team playoff. Rarely did they have to worry about a team that lost 2 games. And I think the scary part about the expanded playoff is that you have so much, very talented teams that now get a slip-up to use if they have. If Ohio State loses at Oregon, in a perfect year, maybe they don't make a 14 playoff. Who knows? And this year, they're getting in. What's your kind of diagnosis of that on whether we will see upsets in this playoff expanded or not?
You certainly will, because at the end of the day, when you have the 11 or 12 best teams in the country playing each other, the favorites aren't all going to win, right? And I think this year, especially when, Georgia starts the year as number 1, but I don't know that we feel like we have a clear clear-cut number one in the country right now. So there's bound to be upsets. I mean, and the fun part is going to be those teams in the first round that are going to have to upset, say, a 5 through 8 are going to have to go on the road and do it right. But there's still going to be excellent matchups. But, yeah, you talk about, look, any team on any night can lose a game, right? And you mentioned it. The room for error makes things easier, but I do like that there is still the premium on winning your conference as well with getting that bye week. I think that's actually the biggest advantage is if you can get into that top 4 by winning your conference and getting a bye week and avoiding another week where you can get yourself in an upset situation, then I think it's a massive advantage. So I really like the fact that they still split the top 4 as their own thing to win the conference, where even if Ohio State lost at Oregon, okay, you can come back and win the conference, still get probably a 3 or 4 seed even with one loss.
Now, my biggest question, and I love to see this from a national perspective compared to what we talk about here in Columbus. Around here, I mean, we just talked about Urban saying this could be one of the best rosters in the last decade. From a national perspective, I know Ohio State's preseason 2. Where do you look at this Buckeye team, and do you think that it has that capability that so many have talked about this year?
It's a monstrously talented roster with just the one question at the quarterback position, right? You bring in Will Howard, who is a veteran, who has a Big 12 title to his name, but you wouldn't put him in, when you look at the top 10 ranked teams in the country, and you see Carson Beck and Dylan Gabriel and Quinn Ewers and Jalen Milroe and all the guys that are in the top 10, you wouldn't put Will Howard in that category, right? He's more of a solid guy who I actually think is a good fit in Chip Kelly's system. As a play-action passer, the offense is going to be based around the run game with Quinshon Judkins and Travion Henderson, but it is the biggest question when you get down to it. There's no question to me that Ohio State should make the playoff. That to me is unquestionable. They have too much talent not to make the playoff, but it is the one thing that you look at and you go, when they get to the final 8 or the final 4, that right now looks like a disadvantage compared to the rest of the top 10 is at quarterback.
You mentioned Texas, and I'm wondering to get your feeling on how much you think they can build on that trip to the CFP last year with Quinn Ewers. They did lose C.J. Baxter. I think they added a new transfer at running back. I don't know who it is or whether it's anything close to him. But your thoughts on what last year did for Texas for this year and how much they took a hit with that running back injury?
I think it took the monkey off their back as far as the pressure, right? Because year after year we went, this is the year Texas is back, and that's all we heard out of Austin. And then last year it actually finally happened, right? Now there's still pressure, but it's not so much being back to being relevant. They're relevant now. Honestly, I'm not worried about their offense. A similar thing happened last year where C.J. Baxter came into the year as the starter and got hurt, and then Jonathan Brooks took over, and he was fantastic and wound up being the first running back taken in the draft, despite an injury. But they're going to be able to run the ball. Steve Sarkisian's one of the best play callers in the country. I'm a little more worried about their defense. I just think they have more questions on defense. I think they're going to be able to put up points, but when you look at a secondary that struggled last year in big games that they tried to add more talent to this offseason, and losing Byron Murphy and Tavondre Sweat in the middle, that was really arguably the best part of their team was those two guys leading their run defense. I think Texas, with some new weapons, and they always find ways to run the ball, and Sarkisian's such a good play caller, they're going to score points. I would watch out for their defense running through the SEC gauntlet and seeing where that ends up over the course of the year.
When you look at the college football landscape, I don't want to pigeonhole you into making a national title pick, but away from Georgia, away from Ohio State, away from Oregon, who is a team that you really look for maybe towards the bottom of that top 10 to kind of really make a run this year?
I won't go all the way to the bottom, but Ole Miss at number 6 is really intriguing. If they can get a little bit better on the offensive line, they added talent almost everywhere else on their team. You've got Princely Amonmielen off the edge on defense, Juice Wells at receiver to go with Trey Harris. Ole Miss is really, really talented. They showed it when they beat Penn State in their bowl game last year. I think they're actually the second best team in the SEC and the biggest threat to Georgia. They just have to find a way to pass protect in big games and to finish and win in big games, because their only 2 losses last year were to Georgia and Alabama, and they can beat everybody else. They can score with anybody. They did a ton in the transfer portal on defense. I think Ole Miss is really the sleeper in all of it.
And I don't think they play Bama, and I think they get Georgia and Oklahoma at home, correct?
That sounds right. I know they get Georgia at home, yeah.
Yeah. Ohio State's going to go to Eugene, this Oregon team. They're being hyped. Everyone says look out for them. Is their defense improved enough to handle what Ohio State can throw at them? What do you think of that, kind of an early preview on that?
I think it's such an interesting matchup because you have Oregon, who's arguably the best offense in the country. I think Ohio State's in the conversation for best defense in the country, but it's going to be about Oregon's front seven being able to hold up, right? Last year, I think they really only struggled in the secondary against Michael Penix and Washington and that crew, and well, everybody did. But I think it's about Oregon's ability in that matchup to stop the run, right? Quinshon Judkins and Travion Henderson are going to be the engine of Ohio State's offense, right? And Oregon, they have a lot of depth in their front seven, especially on the defensive line, but they don't have that one superstar guy like how Ohio State has, say, Jack Sawyer and JT Tuimoloau and Tyleik Williams. I'm not sure Oregon has a single guy that's as good as any of those three guys. They have depth and they're good players, but that game for Oregon is going to be a real test in the trenches.
Before I cut you loose, and we're talking to Dalton Wasserman of Pro Football Focus, let me get a quick opinion on what I saw a little while ago with Schefter. Washington, the Commanders sending Jahan Dotson and a fifth rounder to the Eagles for a third rounder and 2 late picks. Does this mean anything to you?
I think for the Eagles, it does make them better because, to me, they did need one more option, especially either to move Devontae Smith into the slot or to get a new slot weapon like somebody like Dotson. But I can't help but feel like there's just something in my head that goes, okay, is Washington going to make a late push? Are they loading up draft picks to go and call San Francisco again for Brandon Ayuk? Because an extra third-round pick is a pretty good asset. And I know the 49ers have been looking for an already established player back in return, but it appears they're not getting that. And we've heard a lot of Pittsburgh chatter with Ayuk lately, but I think Washington and the connection with Jaden Daniels and everything they're trying to build there, I just can't help but feel like, are they loading up extra draft capital to make one last phone call to San Francisco before the season begins?
Yeah, I think I walked you into that, and I think that's where my mind was. Thanks, Dalton. Well done, my man. Thanks for jumping on. We'll talk again soon.
Appreciate you guys as always. Thank you.
Thanks. Dalton Wasserman, Pro Football Focus on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Here's the deal, though. Inter-division trades are so rare.
Yeah, because you don't want to give your...
what do they think of you when they're trading you, right? It's like when Channel 10 traded you to Channel 4 last hour.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh, are you serious?
What do they think of you if they're doing that?
Well, what did 10 get in return?
Not much.
That's brutal.
I think it was not... I think it wasn't that anyone else was here, was that you were gone. I think that was... So it's kind of like that old baseball
trade. Was it? I get it. They don't want to sit on that much money. I get it.
It was
Makes
the old
sense.
Frankie DePino, Davey Lopes trade. It's not that Davey Lopes was gone. It's that Frankie DePino is here.
I don't even know how to. I just figured out how to get to this station. Now I got to go down the road. Right. It's been goodness.
Just keep your head on a swivel, man.
I know.
We will come back. Adam, did Michigan get some PR help from another coach? You'll hear it next. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
If the sound of another man slammed against plexiglass turns you on, you've come to the right place. Proud to be your home for Jackets hockey. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Bob's Discount Furniture is coming to Polaris, and Bob's Discount Furniture wants you to win big this football season. It's easy. Get online and go to 971thefan.com to register to win a $1,000 gift card to Bob's Discount Furniture, so you can watch your favorite football team sitting in your new Bob's recliner or couch this season. Wow. That's $1,000 from Bob's Discount Furniture. All you have to do is register to win on the Fans contest page at 971thefan.com. Hurry, contest ends Wednesday, August 28th. See complete contest details online at 971thefan.com.
Wendy's new Saucy Nugs come in 7 saucy flavors. Yep, you can literally hear your taste buds going. Taste bud sounds may vary. For a whole new way to nug, gotta be Wendy's. Open till midnight or later.
At participating U.S. Wendy's, hours may vary by location.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Let's talk about your sleep, specifically if you're not getting enough of it. If you're feeling groggy all day because you didn't sleep well, that is an awful feeling. I've been there. And if you're snoring when you sleep, well, that could be a big reason why you aren't feeling rested. This fact surprised even me the first time I heard it, and that is as you age, your risk of having obstructive sleep apnea nearly doubles. That's right. You need to find out if your snoring is related to sleep apnea, because if it is, there's actually help available for you right now. Dr. Mark Levy is board certified in the treatment of sleep apnea, and he offers a custom-fitted oral appliance that effectively treats sleep apnea. I have been telling you about this for years. And maybe you've been snoring for years. Now's the time to get this fixed. Plus, most Medicare patients have little to no out-of-pocket costs for this treatment. So you need to stop putting it off. Don't ignore your snore. Get your sleep apnea treated by calling Dr. Mark Levy today at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. Get the life back you deserve. Call Dr. Mark Levy today, 1-800-MORE-SLEEP, or visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com.
Care Heating and Cooling. When you need a company you can trust, call 1-800-COOLING.
There's nothing like having Common Man and T-Bone resting on your bosom.
Well, for someone with no breasts, you've done very well for yourself.
Gross. Pick up the latest T-shirt in the fan store or pick up merch from a show you actually like. We even have Ohio State and jacket stuff. Head to 971thefan.com.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. If you need a new roof but you're not sure you can afford it, no problem. Right now, Able Roof is offering no payments, no interest until 2026 for qualified buyers. Yep, that's the same Able Roof that's been voted the #1 roofing company in Columbus by Consumer Choice Awards 22 years in a row. Want more? Able Roof will give you up to $1,000 off a new roof, siding, or windows. This is a limited time offer, so call Able Roof today.
Call Able for the proof. 444-ROOF.
Home ownership. At Progressive, we know it's part of the American dream. It's winds blowing across a fruited plain, and also your new fire pit, which subsequently sets your gazebo ablaze. It's hard-hitting football, and an even harder-hitting price estimate from your general contractor. That's a star-spangled bummer. It's also around-the-clock protection when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive, which can help keep the American dream of home ownership alive and kicking. Get a quote at Progressive.com.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Need assistance with door and window projects? The Home Depot can help. From inspiration and materials to ordering and installation, our free millwork virtual apron service can get you moving and doing. Plus, we speak Spanish too. Our associates can help you tackle complex jobs without you leaving the job site, saving you time and money. Call us at 1-833-HD-APRON or visit homedepot.com/MVA. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
Common Man here for Jermaine Lexus of Dublin and Easton. Back to school time. Your kids probably have fancy friends. Isn't it about time you gave them a ride to be proud of? Actually, hell with the kids. Treat yourself to a new Lexus. Right now, it's the Golden Opportunity Sales Event with rates as low as 2.99% on ES, NX, and RX, as well as great lease payments. I've been a Jermaine customer for years, even before I started doing the commercials. If you're in the market, please stop in. Jermaine Lexus of Dublin and Easton, JermaineLexus.com.
Want to know anything about the fans' contests, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Anthony's tennis shorts were so tight, they had to pixelate his crotch. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
All right, I read this and watched it on Twitter.
Is that true about your tennis shorts?
Yes. They're very, very tight. Taut, I think, is the better word. Yeah. Taught. I know this is being mentioned as really insightful stuff from Arkansas defensive coordinator Travis Williams on sign stealing in college football. I think we all know that this happens. We all know that guys are hired to discover this and figure it out. And you're trying, just like you'd be watching game film, you're also watching coaches and signals, and this has been going on forever. Michigan and Connor Stallions took this to a level that is beyond what is normal in-game deciphering of signal, in my mind. And when I saw this, I saw all the response was, oh, this is going to make Buckeye fan all butthurt, and this is not what they want to hear, and everyone, again, throwing, water on the fire of Michigan sign stealing. And I'm not here to tell you that Ohio State shouldn't have won some of those games, and especially a couple years ago. But I understand, and I've said it before, that if you know what's coming, it's like playing blackjack. Like, if you know what's coming, you're going to win money. And I think that's what happened. But I want you to hear this. There's a lot to it. But here's Arkansas DC Travis Williams delivering like almost a 2-minute soliloquy on sign stealing.
I know offense all around the country. They're going to get the TV copy, and they're looking at the signals. They got just one person. That's your only job. Look at the signals. And then, boom, we can't get the defensive signals. Okay, well, let's see what the defensive players are signaling. Then they'll try to get it that way. So they got different ways. I remember we played Louisville, and he was really good. And I saw the TV copy, and I could just see the whole time he's just like this, just watching. And then at halftime, they got the signals. So we played him the next year. I was at UCF. We played him that next year, and I got his contact, and I called him. Like, hey, man, I need to. And he sent me the whole thing. And he said, this is what we had. And it was like 80% correct. So we had to change our signals because they just pass it around. So they're just sending it to the next. So we played SMU and Rhett Lashley to them, and they had the same signals. I wasn't mad that he sent it around. I would have been mad if we didn't change it. So it's huge, like, just signals, and it's perfectly legal. I know teams right now that have two guys on the field because you usually have them in the box. So all the times you see a lot of these teams behind the actual team, they put out these big curtains behind it. If it wasn't important, they wouldn't be doing it. 80% of the teams in America, when they signal, they pull out the big curtain behind so the guys in the press box can't get them. Well, they done smarten up. They done put them on the field. So they got two guys, and they just sit here and try to get it. So you got to have ways of hiding your signals, So you can always know, like, when a play happens, you go, hey, man, they got our signals. It's just like a perfect play. You just know. All over college football. So that's not, it's nothing new. It's not one of those deals where it's like unethical or something like that. Like, they do it. If you're crazy enough to keep the same signals, that's on you.
Yeah, I'm telling you right now, this is one of those deals where if you're going to change your signs every week, this is different than a guy putting on a disguise and going to someone's other sideline. And I know you're ready to jump through the microphone on this. And like I'm with him to a certain extent of it. Yes, you have to guard your own signals. And now there are microphones in the helmets, and hopefully he'll take care of it. But I used to love the old school of sending the play in and all that. But now it's so elaborate and there's so much to it. I understand you, but you could give dummy signals. It's all that. But what do you think of what he had to say there? Does that help Michigan's case? Breathe easy.
I don't think we need to talk about weddings on fall football. That's how angry I am right now. That is not the same thing.
His last line was, if you're crazy enough to keep the same signals, that's on you.
That's not the same thing. One, did you hear everything he said that goes into stealing signs? Now imagine if you didn't have to do any of that because you just had it recorded on a cell phone. You didn't have to decipher anything. You didn't have to go through game film and this and 12, you just got it right there. That's not the same thing. The other problem is, yes, that is a part of college football. It will no longer be, but that was a part of college football. We're not talking about stealing signs. I go back to the video that I put out, 2 years ago now at this point, of Connor Stalions, whatever you thought that video was. And a lot of people said, well, it's not illegal to steal signs. It was the first drive of the game. And so that the problem isn't that stealing signs and complicating the way that you hide your signs and all of this. The problem is going in person, recording the sideline and saying, hey, look, now we just have to watch this. And, okay, now we jot that down. And, it's the easiest thing in the world for them. Yes, do teams have to change their signs? Sure. But at the core of everything, when you're trying to prepare for one of the biggest games of the year, changing your sign in the middle of that, changing everything, one, it's going to create more confusion on the field, undoubtedly. If all year long you've had a certain sign and now it's a completely different thing, it's like relearning a little bit of the playbook. It's ridiculous. And sign stealing exists 1,000%.
Well, there's legal sign stealing
exactly
on game days as part of college football.
And even off of game days, where, as he said, people will try to get TV film and everything. You can't prevent that. But what you can prevent is going and watching a game and just recording the sideline. And just going back and going, this play happened here, and this is the signal that they gave. This play happened here, and this is the signal that they gave. That's not sign stealing. That's just completely ruining the allure of it.
He is discounting the illegal kind.
Yes,
that Michigan was accused of going to games they weren't involved in. But game day sign stealing is, a lot of these coaches feel like it's an absolute must.
Yeah.
And now, do I think it's hypocritical for a lot of schools who have cheated in so many different ways, paying recruits when you couldn't, doing all that, and then barking about our signs are being stolen? Of course. I think there's some hypocrisy to that. But if you're just dealing with this in a vacuum, that sign stealing is a necessity in college football, it sounds like he feels it is, and then it's on the people who are not stealing them to do it, or else you won't survive. This is like, you know what this is to me? This is like, you said you started out as a child. This is like a bunch of candy falling off a truck, and you and your friends are like, wow, look at all this candy we just found, versus the ones that are breaking and entering into the candy store to steal it. There's a difference.
I couldn't have said it any better myself.
Like, okay.
Also, did you have a lot of trucks that lost their candy as a kid? Because I should have hung out with you more.
That's right. We set up some spike strips.
Well, see, now, hold on. Now you've crossed the line. That's
right.
the problem.
That's the illegal.
That's the line.
So I thought it was very interesting. I do agree with him. By the way, TV, they're not showing the signals all that much.
No.
He's talking about game film that you're getting. That's not, you watch a game, yes, do we see some signals going in? Yeah, but not every play.
Well, he's saying, and this is a thing they do. They take the game film that they get. Yeah. They take the TV, if there's any cutaways. They take it all together, and there's one guy, it's his job to put it all together. But my problem there is, imagine if that guy didn't have to exist because they just had it all already on their computer ready to go. Yeah. Garbage. And the editor that wrote it is garbage.
He's right. Thank you. He is right about that it is on you if you're getting your signs ripped on game day. But if you don't know that someone's in the crowd taping you and then going back into a room and a war room with a committee and trying to decipher it all season long, it's a little different, I think.
I think it very similarly is if Baker's recording us on his phone during breaks. We know that we're out there on the live stream, but during breaks, it's not okay.
That's right. It's like when Matty watches Big Brother. The people
Brother.
Know those cameras exist.
I got to get people following my TikToks. Happen.
Yes. Big on TikTok.
Big on TikTok.
It's different than Maddie, who likes to watch strangers through hidden cameras.
Yeah,
but they know but they know the cameras are there. That's the difference.
That
we come back. Top of the hour, Sports Center update. And Deshaun already dinged. We'll give you the latest. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
This promo is brought to you by Common Man and Timmy Hall's Ping Pong Game. The Fan.
Look what we have here. It's the refreshing deliciousness of a Pepsi mini can. It's the perfect complement to any meal. The dash of indulgence your day was dreaming of. The sip that'll have you singing Pepsi.
Nope, not again, Steve. Let's take a cue from the Pepsi mini can and pack all that awesomeness you're feeling into a much smaller treat for everyone. Deal?
So, big awesomeness, smaller size. I think I've got just the thing.
Pepsi mini can. Mini can, big taste.
With Tire Discounter's new TD Chat BS, we can detect deception over the phone. Let's call a typical tire store.
Yellow, cheapo tire where we bolt them on for less.
Yes, I need tires and lubricant for my vehicle.
Great, come on in. We'll slap on some new tires.
And what about the lubricant exchange?
Oh, yeah. We send you over to Ollie's Oil for that. They're right down the road.
Deception. Destination is 5.2 miles away.
Well, I'll be.
Also, 6 out of 10 cars need alignment.
Well, just travel on over to Alignments or Us.
Calculating. Time for 2 additional trips.
You mean you want to do tires, oil change, and alignment all in one fell swoop?
Oh, I observed that Tire Discounters, the home of free alignment, is close by.
Ugh, Tire Discounters.
And they are experts at oil changes, brakes, shocks, and...
I'm losing you.
Hello? I'm sorry. Your system has crashed.
Don't miss our Savor the Summer sale, now till Labor Day.
It's back to school time. That means it's time to start saving with deals for school days at Giant Eagle and Market District. Get tons of discounts on all your favorite items so your students can be ready to take on the day. Don't miss out. Visit your local Giant Eagle or Market District today.
It's the summer sell down at Performance. Get up to $16,000 off MSRP on new 24 Jeep Wranglers and Grand Cherokees during the Make This the Summer of Jeep event. Performance, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, Georgesville, and Delaware.
Not valid on previous sales. Cannot combine offers. Must take delivery from dealer stock 8/20 to 8/31/24.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text EQUAL to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text EQUAL to 321-321. That's EQUAL to 321-321.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good afternoon. I'm Ryan Baker. Ohio State continuing to get ready for their season opener against Akron August 31st. JT Tuimoloau said that they're chasing perfection.
The measuring stick never stays the same. If it stays the same, then you're just getting complacent. And I think that's one thing he's been preaching to us. It's just it has to change. Every day there's a new bar to reach. Every day he's expecting more greatness out of us, and I think that's what it is right now.
They're less than 5 minutes away from baseball in the Bronx as the Guardians and Yankees wrap up their 3-game set. Gavin Williams taking on Garrett Cole. 6:40 tonight, the Reds start a series in Pittsburgh against the Pirates. Nick Lodolo gets the start for Cincy opposite Paul Skeens. Former Red Joey Votto announced his retirement yesterday on his Instagram, and the Bengals play their final preseason game tonight at 8 p.m. as they host the Colts. This one brought to you by Whiskey War from High Bank Distillery. Drink local, drink High Bank.
Helping you ace your afternoon. This is Rothman and Ice.
Second hour of the program. TV Adam must still be in the bathroom or something, taking an extended break. That's what TV people do.
It wasn't on his teleprompter to be back at this time.
He's doing his hair.
Tell you. TV guys.
I can just imagine. What is it now? Have you been here 14 years? Is that what I heard?
I think officially I've been through the doors for 14, but I don't think I was hired full time until 2011. So it turns out to be 13. But I've actually worked here. I started in the summer of 2010.
So I imagine 14 years ago, like this is what Anthony Rothman was like. Right. We're getting a glimpse of it with Adam King coming over and doing radio. This is what you were in the summer of 2010, not the summer of 69.
That's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me. That I'm a young Anthony Rothman. I mean, that's what I aspire to be every day of my life. I wake up this morning and say, what would AR do? And then
he'd probably go to the golf course.
And that's exactly what I do. And then my boss calls and says, where are you? And I said, what would AR do?
Rehabilitated? That's just a BS word, Adam. So you go on and stamp your forms.
I know that one.
Stop wasting my time.
I know that one.
Because to tell you the truth, I don't give a you-know-what.
I think we just found a new fan store shirt, by the way.
That old man is
WWARD. What would AR do?
Exactly. Maddie once said to me...
Also, I think that's just WWARD. That's just Ward.
He said... live a little.
Ward.
Maddie once said to me, live a little. And I said, I've lived enough. I feel like that's right. That kid is long gone. All that's left is this old man.
It's in there.
But it's nice to have you back for the second hour. I'm glad you didn't hit the wall. I thought maybe you just pulled ripcord and said, I'm out.
Well, you said 10 minutes, so I had to...
You thought I was serious? When you asked me along the commercial break and I said 8 to 10 minutes, you really thought I was serious?
I thought this was the one that was a 10-minute.
Yes.
I had somebody asking me about a Saturday wall.
Talk for 10, off for 10.
It's 10 and 10.
Yeah.
Well, typically
it's like icing a bruise.
Rothman, typically what I do is talk for 4 minutes and 30 seconds, off for 24 hours. Talk for 4 minutes and 30 seconds, off for 24 hours.
I'll give you a little credit here as someone that formerly did your job. It is the weirdest job ever because you do have to ramp up. There are rare jobs in this world. Like right around 4 o'clock, people have been at work since 9. They ramp down at the end of your day. the TV person has to be the most mentally and physically sharp in the last 5 minutes of their day.
That's 100% true.
And so you can work. So I always said, you could come in and work for 10 hours. How was the day today? Well, how did the sportscast go?
It's
doesn't your 10 hours can go horribly, but if those 4.5 minutes are great,
or vice versa.
Yeah.
That's, you couldn't have said it better.
Yeah.
There's nothing like
somebody said you had the best 4.5 minutes in town.
That's hey-o. Thanks for the credit of 4.5 minutes. I really appreciate that.
It does seem like a long time.
Little extreme.
That's true.
Let's
what do you
comment down
think that the odds are of Deshaun Watson having, what should we call this, a top 15 season? Like what? Where do we draw the line for this guy?
Top 15 quarterback?
On what we imagine. Well, is 15 wrong?
If that is your standard, then I think it's 100%.
Like, here's the deal. I'm looking at the quarterback lineup, and we're all going to do fantasy here and do the draft and all that. And maybe we got to have this conversation after we hear from Stefanski, because I actually, it's Stefanski, correct?
Yeah, we've got some Stefanski stuff. I was just going to say real quick, if that's what you're hoping for, this is a lost trade for the Browns. And we might have been there anyway, but this is a lost trade if what you're hoping for is top 15.
Well, a top 15 season statistically.
They didn't bring him in for that, though.
No, but what I'm saying to you guys is that what statistics are we looking at for a top 15 season? Because it's not like Lamar Jackson is a top 15 passer, right? He's not throwing for, maybe he is now, but he's not a top 10 passer.
I don't judge anything, and this is going to sound really dumb, because they came up with a way to judge things in statistics. Statistics are garbage.
Don't sell yourself short. It may be tremendously dumb.
Yeah. I don't judge anything in statistics when it comes to ranking quarterbacks, because they're all so different. It's all a vibe check. It's all a feeling. Last year, C.J. Stroud was a top 5 quarterback, and you can't tell me otherwise.
Well, he's a top 10 passer.
But when you just vibe off the quarterbacks. Now, I will say with your top 15, it's a lot harder than I thought it would be. Baker, I think you should look at the quarterback. Now, this list I'm looking at has Justin Herbert.
Are you looking at yards? What are you looking at?
I'm just looking at somebody's random ranking of quarterbacks.
Okay.
At PFF's. And this has Herbert 5, which seems a little high. But when you look at it,
with what he has around him now, yes.
Yes.
It's horribly high.
Yeah, that's pretty high. But I'll say this has Deshaun Watson 23rd. That seems unbelievably low. I think you're right. Deshaun Watson, if I'm drafting fantasy football, which, spoiler alert, I do a lot, I think Deshaun Watson is one of those guys that you can get in a later round that could very well statistically, but we don't like statistics, put up a top 8 season. But you're right. I don't want to see.
Guys, there are 32 teams. Top 15 puts him in the upper half of this NFL.
They didn't go try to get an upper half
I'm not saying that this is going to turn out well. I'm just, what you guys said was that if he's top 15, it's almost like he's nothing. Or if he's 15, that's nothing. I think that's a good line to put him at.
Hey, I once hijacked your show randomly throwing out captains with Spencer Holbrook. I'm going to do this. Holbrook. I'm sorry, Brock. I always Jordan Love or Deshaun Watson? Who does better this year?
Jordan Love.
Okay. Trevor Lawrence, Deshaun Watson.
Trevor Lawrence.
Brock Purdy or Deshaun Watson?
Brock Purdy.
Tua Tagovailoa or Deshaun Watson?
I would draft Tua because of the weapon.
Or Deshaun?
You're talking about individual. It's a team game still.
Kirk or Deshaun? Cousins.
Probably numbers-wise, Kirk.
Okay. So
if the Achilles holds up, but I would be scared.
I've got a better one.
Okay.
Baker or Deshaun?
Deshaun.
You?
Deshaun. You or Deshaun? I'd take you. All day. All day. Because I think you're a gamer, Baker. I think you show up on game day ready to go.
I give it my all, that's for sure. You get maximum effort from me. But the thing is, if you wanted a middle-of-the-road quarterback, you had that. You tried to go above that. So that's why I say if he's 15, it's a loss because you had that already.
Well, I will say all those guys that I just named,
I'd probably draft
PFF had them 10 to 15. And you didn't pick him over one of them. So maybe you're right. Kyler or Deshaun? This is an interesting one. I think that's probably really.
Yeah.
Wow.
Fantasy wise? Absolutely.
Okay, we can say fantasy.
Oh, like who would I rather have now?
Yes.
That seems like a wash.
Yeah, that's kind of where I think I draw.
if you threw Kyler Murray in a Browns uniform right now, Browns fans would feel probably exactly the same way.
Yeah, same with Geno, same with Caleb Williams.
Yeah. I think they probably actually lean a little more towards because I think there's hope with the Browns fan that one special part of him, it's still going to happen.
Yeah,
that season's still there. He's motivated.
Mm-hmm.
It's really about him. Can he stay healthy? And so that gets us back to our original point. He has shoulder soreness again. It doesn't sound serious. He's not going to play Saturday, but why would he? No one's really playing.
General arm soreness.
Oh, general. Anthony. I have that too, but I'm not a professional quarterback.
I was going to just make the joke. You wake up with that every morning. You don't see you complaining about it.
Let's hear from Stefanski.
I'd say general arm soreness, but again, he practiced. I held him back. He could have gone. He's feeling fine.
Sir, where is the general soreness? All over the arm? Is it more in the shoulder, elbow, forearm, hand? Where are we here? That's the follow-up.
It's just
not
everywhere.
That it means
just
anything to any of us.
All over, face, arms, neck.
He's deserved a lot of the crap that's come his way, right? The truth is he going to be a lot better this season? It feels like he should. I don't have any proof of that. I'm going on a gut that he played hurt a lot until he couldn't play. I by the way, you heard me. I was a big defender of him last season when everyone's saying, "Oh, this is weak. He's wimping out and all that. $230 million, go play football." I'm like, it's his throwing arm. He's a quarterback. I want him to be an asset, not a liability. There's a fine line between playing tough and playing injured. And I feel like he was playing injured. So, and Baker was too. It's part of the job. I understand that. But I hate when the conversation only goes to, well, this is what he makes. He should play.
Well, yeah, you can't put him out there if he's hurt. I do think that if you're a Browns fan and you're expecting top 15, which I think is a realistic place to put him, the problem is I'm looking at top 10 here, and I don't think he cracks any of these guys. I'll take Dak, Matthew Stafford, Rodgers, Hurts, and Stroud all over him. There's really... It's remarkable. He would have to go out there and have an old Deshaun Watson season, a season from when he first got into the league.
And here's maybe the biggest problem right now is how much are they going to be able to rely on Chubb? Because that's their identity. He could be a big part of what they do, but my goodness, that's who they are. He was going to complement that and be a runner and a thrower and a guy who's really talented. I understand from a football stance why they went out and got him. Now, at the time they got him, it was very weird, for sure, that they'd go on. But they were so desperate, and Haslam was so desperate. This is what pro teams do. Why are we all shocked? They don't care what happens before. They just want to win. The PR battle, they handled that. Whether they fumbled it or not, they knew what they were getting into, and they did it. They kind of defended him. Haslam and his wife were both out there kind of defending because you had the female side of it. And now it's and if you're a diehard Browns fan, like the guy sitting across the glass from me, if it gets him wins, he's willing to kind of be okay, we're paying him to play football. I'm not asking him to be my best friend. It's just a feeling that when you've suffered and you've been that desperate for a quarterback and you feel like you've got a talented one, this is what happens with sports. But he's 28 years old. If he's healthy, he's talented. I don't think anyone's arguing that he's talented.
Baker, as a Browns fan, as a diehard Browns fan, when you look at this season, what do you think is the bar for Deshaun Watson? What do you want to see from Watson?
I honestly think we're only going to get half the season with him.
Well, no.
Because that's what he's proven. But
say you get the dream scenario. What do you want from him?
I think the best you're going to get from Deshaun, the best, is 80% of what he used to be.
And you'd be happy with that?
I don't know if I'll be happy with that, but that's just what I have come to think. That's all he is now, is he's 80% of the last full season he played in Houston. And there's
because of injury or because of mentally or what?
I think there's multiple. I think the mental side of it is huge. Tiger Woods was never the same after he
We're not bringing Tiger into this, all right? Because we will never get out of that.
After the car accident that nearly took his leg?
Now I've got to get
I'm talking about the first one when he took the 7-iron to the head or whatever. He was never the same after that mentally.
First of all, he took the 7-iron to the windshield. All right, let's get it right.
But then there's physical ailments in here as well, as Tiger had too. So I just don't think – I think there's going to be a couple games where you can get the Deshaun Watson of old, but for most it's just an 80%.
All right.
Maybe we should do the timeline of Tiger and relive all that.
Listen.
But I do want to get into, we may do that a little bit next. But did the Bengals defense, speaking of fantasy, give us all the advice we needed to not draft a certain quarterback? That's next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
There's nothing Bo Bishop can't do well, except find competent co-hosts. Bishop and Friends.
Weekdays from 9 to noon.
The Fan.
The Super Sale is back this Friday and Saturday only at Meyer. Shop for sports, family dinners, or get-togethers, and find super low prices on favorites like Halo Mandarins for 99 cents, boneless center cut half pork loin for $1.79 per pound, and Body Armor or Powerade sports drinks for 88 cents each. Shop super low Meyer prices while supplies last, and get the same prices in-store and online. Shop the Meyer Super Sale this Friday and Saturday only. Exclusions apply. See all deals in-store and in the Meyer app.
Experience a piece of history this September and pay tribute to those that have served in the Vietnam War. Delaware County Veterans Services invites you to visit the Wall That Heals from September 12th through the 15th at Havener Park in Liberty Township. Witness the official 3/4 scale replica of the Vietnam Memorial in Washington, D.C. The Wall That Heals is free and open to the public 24 hours a day until 2 p.m. on the 15th. For volunteering opportunities and to learn more, please visit thewallthathealsohio.com.
Direct auto insurance is for uncompromisers, like Matt. When his old car insurance got so expensive, do you think he walked until his sneakers wore out? No, because he found savings with Direct Auto so he could drive instead of compromise. With savings of up to 25% on state minimum coverage, you too can stop compromising and keep driving. Get a free quote at directauto.com or a store near you. Savings vary, terms apply. National General Group, Winston-Salem.
The delicious ice-cold taste of Dr. Pepper has a lasting effect on people. Lindsay from Sacramento said,
Pro tip, 40 degrees is the perfect temperature for an ice-cold Dr. Pepper.
Why is 40 degrees the perfect temperature for Dr. Pepper? We brought in Sue from Duluth, Minnesota to tell us.
Oh, yeah, I know a thing or two about cold. Oh, that right there is the perfect kind of ice cold for Dr. Pepper. I'd share that with my friend Nancy. She likes Dr. Pepper, too, you know. My coldest...
All right, that'll be all, Sue. Having a perfect temperature for your Dr. Pepper? It's a Pepper thing. Inspired by real fan posts.
We don't talk politics on The Fan. Instead, you'll hear us talk about the Ohio State Buckeyes, the NFL, food, family, and fun. We're your safe space, except when Common Man violates it by playing fart noises. The Fan, Ohio's politics-free destination.
And what is it called?
A ceiling fan.
And where is it?
It's on the floor.
And why is that a problem?
Well, see, the person who named it probably should have called it a flood. No, that's not right. The guy on TV I saw put up a ceiling fan.
Are you a TV star, Paul?
No, I'm not.
Are you an electrician, Paul?
I am not.
You are?
I am a middle management accountant, and I shouldn't be putting up ceiling fans.
You should.
Call the pros who knows.
Apex Pros.
The pros who know electrical work, too. Hi, it's Alex from Apex Pros, and if you'd like us for plumbing, cooling, and heating, you're gonna love our pro electricians.
Apex Pros are on the way.
Much easier, isn't it?
I'm glad we sorted this out.
Me too.
Columbus loves the pros who knows. Schedule with one click at apexpros.com.
Did you and your family lose Ohio Medicaid and need health coverage? Check this out. You may be eligible to enroll in a low-cost health plan at healthcare.gov. With the new law, 4 out of 5 customers can find a plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Healthcare.gov offers quality plans that cover doctor visits, prescriptions, emergency care, and more. Healthcare.gov is here for you. Enroll today for coverage starting the 1st of next month. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
2 hours ago, Kyle arrived at the bar.
Hey, what's everyone drinking?
30 minutes ago, Kyle got his friends another round of drinks.
Cheers!
5 minutes ago, Kyle decided to drive home drunk. A minute ago, a law enforcement officer pulled up behind Kyle.
Sir, have you been drinking tonight?
A chain of events that began 2 hours ago is about to change Kyle's whole world. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Looking at sunshine all afternoon. Those temperatures will make their way up to around 80 for our high today. Clear skies tonight. Temperature falling into the mid-50s. We'll be back up into the mid-80s for Friday as more sunshine dominates the forecast. Temperatures will return toward the 90s. For the weekend, as a little bit more humidity arrives. I'm 10 Weather Impact meteorologist Michael Behrens on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365 is the exclusive online sportsbook of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
It's Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
All right, Fred Biletnikoff coming up at 1:33. Former Oakland Raider. And maybe one of the more unpredicted Hall of Famers. I know he's very good at Florida State when he played and came out, AFL, NFL, all that, and didn't start right away and was, 6 feet tall, 190, but, and then the whole stickum. I can't wait to ask him about the stickum. Just lathered himself with glue to catch footballs. Now, if you've ever put on a glove now, and shout out to Jeremiah Smith and 1870 Society, because I got a pair of his gloves for the outing to auction off.
Oh, that's awesome.
And he signed them.
Oh,
wow. I put my hand on the inside of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's as tacky as anything I have felt. Like, that's unreal. The gloves and the ability to catch the football.
Well, now I felt one a couple years ago. Now I'm going to have to, tonight at the Woody, I'm going to have to see if someone will let me see their gloves.
See if you can make a one-handed grab.
Sir, can I see your gloves? I just want to put them on for a couple hours.
Anthony, do you think if Tyvus would have had receiver gloves on, he wouldn't have thrown the golf club into the lake?
That's very, 100%. I forgot about that story. That was amazing.
That is just wild.
Did anybody go get the club, or is it still there
I don't think there was any getting it unless he went swimming.
Anytime I hear Stickum, I think of, the replacements where he catches the ball and has to take the glove off and hands the whole thing to the ref. That's what I think of every time.
Patrick Mahomes won another Super Bowl for the Chiefs. We know that. He is going to be. He's not the number one quarterback in fantasy, though. He's probably behind. If you were drafting a fantasy quarterback right now, I don't know if I would take Mahomes first. I probably wouldn't.
I'm not a big, just for all you folks out there, it looks like Josh Allen, a lot of people have, and Jalen Hurts.
Got to worry about his lack of weapons, too, but he runs a lot, and that's what helps, because you're going to get the rushing touchdowns. That's why I drafted Hurts last year. I'm a little worried about Kelsey not being there for the brotherly shove. I probably wouldn't be taking him. I think Lamar's right there, but let me tell you who else is in the top 5. A guy that the Bengals savagely disrespected, Anthony Richardson. So, Richardson, Bengals cornerback Cam Taylor-Britt has a quote, "Is that all he does is run?" At one point, Bengals defensive tackle B.J. Hill yelled directly at Anthony Richardson, "Throw the ball, bro." When Richardson heeded his advice and threw the ball in the next play of the practice, things worsened. As linebacker Logan Wilson came down with the pick off a deflection, the Bengals defense didn't hold back, taunting the second-year signal caller.
Wow.
Bengals safety Geno Stone reportedly yelled, "He's just throwing to spots. He doesn't even see his receivers." The first-team offense was struggling for the Colts, and no one looked comfortable, including Anthony Richardson. He was 2 for 8 passing, and the Bengals players were talking so much trash, and probably rightfully so. They also reported that Richardson ended the session going 10 of 20, though. He had a bright spot near the end of practice. Does this sway you at all? First of all, I don't know. First of all, I don't like it. I don't think you need. I think when you're doing a dual practice, worry about yourselves. If you're doing great, that's fine. I'm a little surprised that any of these guys would be so bold in saying that stuff. Just seems a little disrespectful.
Let me try this here. Practice?
Yeah.
We're talking about practice? I mean, Anthony Richardson, before he got hurt, was dominant last year. He was exciting to watch. I don't know that I'd be taunting him. Obviously, 2 for 8 in practice isn't great, but I think if, again, and I know it's a joke, but it's practice. if we're keeping stats in practice now, they're not going to look good for anybody.
He's working on stuff.
Yeah, that's what it's for.
And by the way, throwing to spots is not exactly anything foreign that a quarterback would do.
I mean, there are times you want a quarterback to throw to a spot. You don't want him throwing at the receiver if he's going into a break. You want him to throw the spot. I mean, that's odd. I will say, going back to fantasy, I'm a big Richardson fan in fantasy. I think he's a top quarterback out there. I think he's going to be exciting to watch. I think he and Stroud in their second year are going to be phenomenal. So it's odd to taunt him, especially coming off an injury. I mean, let the guy get back in his rhythm a little bit.
It is weird. It is. I when I read that, I was like, okay. I just thought it was incredibly disrespectful. And also, why worry about that? If anything, it's making you look better. Yeah. Just keep doing what you're doing, Anthony. Like that's so. Now he's got pressure on him because of what you said, coming back, having those moments, coming off the injury. But he got so mocked. All he does is run. I didn't see the game. I'd have to go back and look at it. But I agree with you. It's preseason. Things are going to look a little garbagey at first. But I'd be lying if I told you that it didn't enter my fantasy brain a little bit.
Really?
Just a little bit.
I'll say this. Real quick sidebar. It kind of reminds me of when fans chant overrated after they beat like a number one team. I wouldn't chant overrated. You just beat them. Just say that's how good we are. Why would you want to call a team overrated that you beat? That just says, like, why do you want to taunt a quarterback and say you're not very good? Instead, say, hey, he's really good, and we held him to 2-8. We picked him off. We were in his head. Like, oh, wow, you're terrible. Look how well we're playing.
It is weird.
It's odd.
It is. You're right. It's counterintuitive. Yeah. Right. Because if he's that terrible.
Then what are you doing?
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe they wanted to work on their pass defense, and all he was doing was running. I understand that. Like, you come in and say, hey, it was a little frustrating. We thought we could come and work on some stuff, but they decided not to throw the ball too much, and so we didn't get the work done. But this was a little bit wild that they went that route.
You're awful. We stopped every play. You're so bad.
Would you reach for him in fantasy? You just kind of let him where... Because am I right? He's top 5.
Yeah. Now, I'll say this. I am a zero quarterback guy in fantasy until the very end. I think that you can win fantasy with pretty much any QB. But if you were looking for a
scares me
middle-of-the-road quarterback, I think Richardson could finish the season top 5 in fantasy.
Yeah. I think you'd have to reach for him, though. I don't think he's a wait for him. And it depends on your league, too. There's a run on quarterbacks always. And then there's a panic. And then you're like, I don't want to get stuck with that guy. I'm not going to get stuck with Geno Smith or Gardner Minshew. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I mean, that's a different level.
You said wait till the end.
Well,
what did you mean by that?
I mean, if you're in a 12-team league, I think you'll be just fine with Tua Tagovailoa as your quarterback.
12-team, yes. 14?
I'm in an 18-team league and one.
Sounds amazing.
My quarterback is, in fact, Geno Smith. Okay. So there you go.
I can read them like a third-grade textbook over here. All right, folks, we'll come back with Fred Biletnikoff on a Gold Jacket Thursday. The Raider is in Canton. You'll hear him next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Unlike your deadbeat uncle, we'll never leave you stranded in a ditch when you were 6. This promo may have been a touch too specific. The Fan.
Hey, it's Anthony here from my friends at Germain Honda of Dublin. Rich is rolling out all of his new Hondas at 2.9% up to 60 months. Just not including the Civic Si and Civic Type R, but all the other awesome new Hondas, 2.9%. You love certified? He has the dream deal. 0.99% APR for 36 months on the 23s and 24s, Civics, HRVs, CRVs, pilots, and passports. When you think Honda, you have to visit Germain Honda of Dublin, Sawmill Road, just south of 270.
The Columbus Men's Clinic opened in 2014 for guys who get it done. Let's talk, fellas. You solve problems all day at work. You fix your sink when it's broken. But when it comes to ED and low T, it doesn't get done. We get it. You hate going to the doctor, but you're the guy that fixes things. At the Columbus Men's Clinic, there's nothing to fear and no reason to delay. We've been destroying bedroom boredom for a decade. So if you haven't fixed this, call us. When the pills fail, call us. If you feel like you've tried everything, call us. Here, there's hope. From the conventional to the next level. You'll be seen by our friendly, discreet physician who will take the time to listen. Imagine finally taking care of this with no surgery. Imagine going from feeling gray to living life in vibrant color. It's time to be confident. Join the thousands of guys who have found success after walking through our doors. Will you be one of them? Dial 614-300-7400 or go to ColumbusMen'sClinic.com to schedule a $99 male performance consultation, including blood work. Do it for you. Do it for her. ColumbusMen'sClinic.com. Book your appointment now. now.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. If you need a new roof, but you're not sure you can afford it, no problem. Right now, Able Roof is offering no payments, no interest until 2026 for qualified buyers. Yep, that's the same Able Roof that's been voted the #1 roofing company in Columbus by Consumer Choice Awards 22 years in a row. Want more? Able Roof will give you up to $1,000 off a new roof, siding, or windows. This is a limited time offer, so call Able Roof today.
Call Able for the proof. 444 Roof. Remember how that little girl in Poltergeist was in the TV? Yeah? Well, she's actually dead now. It's quite sad. Anyway, watch your favorite fan shows on your TV by subscribing to us on YouTube. Search 971 The Fan. Do it now.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Let's talk about your sleep, specifically if you're not getting enough of it. If you're feeling groggy all day because you didn't sleep well, that is an awful feeling. I've been there. And if you're snoring when you sleep, well, that could be a big reason why you aren't feeling rested. This fact surprised even me the first time I heard it, and that is as you age, your risk of having obstructive sleep apnea nearly doubles. That's right. You need to find out if your snoring is related to sleep apnea, because if it is, there's actually help available for you right now. Dr. Mark Levy is board certified in the treatment of sleep apnea, and he offers a custom-fitted oral appliance that effectively treats sleep apnea. I have been telling you about this for years. And maybe you've been snoring for years. Now's the time to get this fixed. Plus, most Medicare patients have little to no out-of-pocket costs for this treatment. So you need to stop putting it off. Don't ignore your snore. Get your sleep apnea treated by calling Dr. Mark Levy today at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. Get the life back you deserve. Call Dr. Mark Levy today, 1-800-MORE-SLEEP, or visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com.
This year, Dell Technologies Back to School event is delivering impressive tech with an inspiring purpose. Learn how Dell is helping Computer Aid, whose work is helping solar community hubs with tech and AI literacy skills to empower remote, displaced, or disconnected communities around the world. Help Dell make a difference and shop AI-ready PCs powered by Snapdragon X Series processors at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Rothman and Ice present Gold Jacket Thursday.
Sponsored by the Columbus Zoo and Aquarium. Plan your perfect summer trip at columbuszoo.org.
All right, welcome back to a Gold Jacket Thursday. And some said this guy was too small, too slow. Guess what? He showed him. Deceptive speed, I think, can be the most dangerous kind. Played 14 years in silver and black for the Oakland Raiders, became a Super Bowl MVP and a Pro Football Hall of Fame receiver. Number 25 is back in football heaven in Canton. Fred Biletnikoff, great to connect with you, Fred.
Thank you, Anthony. Great to be on with you.
I'm going to give you the ultimate compliment because I wanted to be the kid like you with the blonde hair coming out the back of my helmet, just like you. But I had a problem. I grew up a Viking fan. And
that's okay.
You tore my heart to ribbons in that Super Bowl, but I still loved you. So that's the ultimate compliment when you beat my team, because I can recognize greatness. But it's so good to have you back. How does it feel? It's been several years, I imagine. Canton, what does it look like to you, and how does it feel?
It feels good. We were here a couple of weeks ago for the Hall of Fame week, and then I came back by myself, and it seems a little bit different with not all the guys around. Yeah. You're the only one. I'm the only one here right now, and so it feels a little different, but it's good because you get a chance to go around and see everybody, be at the hotel with the whole. Seeing other people at the hotel, but it's good, and I like Canton. I like being downtown. I like the area, and it's really, we had an opportunity today to stop by and meet a bunch of people over at the senior pickleball tournaments, and that was a lot of fun, and getting to meet some people that actually are still not quite my age, but close to my age out there running around at pickleball courts. And my God, I couldn't believe the amount of people they had out there playing in this tournament. It's amazing. I even had a chance to give out some awards, some bronze, silver, gold medals. So that was my highlight this morning, and everything's going well.
Very cool. You grew up in Erie, PA, so I got to ask you, how much Steeler gear did you have as a kid?
No, I like the Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh, okay.
They weren't selling memorabilia back then.
Oh, that's funny. Okay, so you're an Eagle guy, I imagine, right?
I was an Eagle guy. Cleveland, Pittsburgh. The Eagle. I always liked the Eagles, but it was people in town and friends, everybody. We all like different teams.
Let's get right to the Stick'em. I don't want to bury the lead too much. How did you discover it, and how much did you rely on it? Because I remember Kenny Stabler once said he didn't need the Stick'em. It was like psychological that you thought you needed it. So give me the whole origin of it and what it meant to you.
Well, it started. You know what? We started after we had seen it. Our equipment manager Dick Romanski, who's gotten in the Hall of Fame this past year. Noticed it with one of the players for the Chargers when we were down in San Diego playing, and that's how we fell upon it. A guy named Speedy Duncan was using it. He was a defensive back and a returner, and so that's how it actually started. And he got some and brought it up, and that's how the controversy started and lived on for a ton of years. But so that's where it originated, and that's how we stumbled on it, and we all used it. It's like the old Raider way. If you're not cheating, you're not trying.
Oh, Fred Biletnikoff with us. They banned it after your career, but now they wear gloves, and those I think are just as tacky.
Oh, those! I'll tell you what. If you get an opportunity to have those gloves on, it's better than Stick'em. Those gloves. It's unbelievable. I tried them on a couple of times and caught balls with it. And I can see why those guys are making one-handed catches. Believe me, it's unbelievable what they've done with the equipment now that they have.
He will be at the Hall of Fame this weekend. We'll tell you exactly how you can meet and greet one of the best to ever catch a football, Fred Biletnikoff. You didn't start right away, though, when you got to the Raiders. Was there ever any fear that you were going to get your shot? How did you feel early on in your career?
Well, I had a lot of trouble in my first couple of years. Getting readjusted from college into professional football, which was a big jump back in that period of time, and it was a struggle for 2 years. And then Al, who was the head coach, traded away one of the receivers, and so I got the opportunity to start, and then went through a couple injuries and. Still seemed to surface and go on, and had the injuries healed the right way. I was pretty fortunate. And then, after that, it was just a great career, playing with a great number of great players, a lot of them in the Hall of Fame, and being on a team that you have a lot of success. It's a little bit different, when you're in that type of position, to be able to look forward to next year. My whole career with the Raiders, we were always in a mix the following year, no matter what. We could always count on getting to a playoff game, which, when I get a chance, and like some of the times I've talked to the team with the Raiders, and I don't know what it's like to go in your last couple of weeks of the season, and you're going to, no matter what you do, you're going to have a losing season. I was never in that position, so I have a lot of respect for guys that are in that position. Fortunately enough, I wasn't, but that all goes back to the great guys that we had playing.
He's Fred Biletnikoff, one of the best. John Madden, the coach, versus John Madden, the analyst. I kind of grew up with both. Fell in love with him as an analyst like a lot of us did, but you give me a better story about him as a coach and what he meant to you and how you feel he helped you.
Well, John was fantastic because, John knew how to play everybody's personality. That was the great thing about John. He could understand everybody, understood their personality, and he didn't ever try to put all of us into like one big group. He let our personalities come out, and he adjusted to that and worked with us all the time. And John was a very fair guy to play for. very understanding. He was tough, in a lot of instances. We had very few rules, but, those rules were really enforced a lot. But John was a great guy. He was a great coach. And like I said, he was a great favorite of the players.
The characters, the stork, the snake, the scarecrow, were you guys, like John Facenda used to say in that voice, Freddie, a ragtag group of renegades? Were you that kind of a group? Did you feel like, or was the chemistry something that we just didn't get to see? It just seemed like there were so many individual great characters on your team, but you also won as a team. You felt that way?
Yeah. Well, you know what? We all had our different personalities, but we all seemed to blend together. Because everybody was a type of guy that the most important thing was winning, and sacrificing a lot, and working hard in practice and training camp, and those things that are involved in building the team. And we all seemed to gel together with one goal, and that's winning. And everybody calls us ragtag, this, that, but that was just how everybody was. We didn't try to be that way. That's just how we were. We didn't have to change, and nobody really tried to change us. So we were a great group, and the great thing about our team was that we were a tough bunch of guys. But the one thing we did once we got on that field, it was nothing but football.
Yeah, the Fred Biletnikoff Award, that's almost immortality. It's given to the most outstanding receiver in college football. It's named in your honor. All the great years you had at Florida State. That's immortality to me. What does that mean to you? I know I'm talking to you at the Pro Football Hall of Fame, but you have an award that's given out every year to the best college receiver. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, having something like that, it's fantastic. It means the world, not only to me, but to my family, and to be able to see and watch the guys coming out of college and who win the award, and some of the guys that have, come in like second or, runner-ups, and see their years after develop into pro football. It's a great thing, but having the award is fantastic. There's nothing like it, and, I feel very honored. It's something that's always going to be here, and the thing about it, the years have gone by fast. It's been a great number of years now since we first started the award up until now. I don't believe anybody thought that it would go on this long, but it has, and it's really made an impact on a lot of college kids. And when you hear these college kids talk about every year, they're always thinking about trying to win the Biletnikoff Award every year. It makes you feel pretty good.
No doubt, it should. He spent his last season in 1978 as the NFL's active leader in career receiving yards, retired, ranked 5th all-time. One of the greats, Fred Biletnikoff, a hero of mine when I was a kid, wanted to catch the football like you. And you can meet him at the Hall of Fame tomorrow. You won't miss him. He'll be the guy in the gold jacket. 11:15 to 11:40, Hall of Famer at the Hall in Canton. You can interact with him right near the Super Bowl rings. I was just up there for the enshrinement this year. It's an incredible museum now, and the whole village is just expanding every year. And then Saturday, if you want to get up there this weekend, 10:15 to 11, again, he'll be greeting you right there at the Hall in the lobby. And then it's going to be amazing. He's going to pass out a Hall of Fame birthday cake, all the stuff that you expect out of football heaven, and you've got a guy who played 14 seasons, 6 Pro Bowls, 76 touchdowns. Number 25 is back in Canton. Go see him. Fred Biletnikoff. Just win, baby. Keep doing it, Fred.
Okay, Anthony. Thank you.
Got it. 25. Number 25 for the Oakland Raiders in silver and black. What a crew. I beat my Vikes in Super Bowl 11 out there in Pasadena. All right, want to give you a quick minute for my friends over at Bath Authority. So it's not something a lot of people think about, but you walk in there every day, and if you have a bath or a shower that's outdated and you feel like, well, I'm just dealing with this, well, don't anymore. Get a new one and get it from Bath Authority, because forgetting about the worst stuff, which is mold and the mildew, the broken tiles, you get a chance to really get world-class customer experience with the Bath Authority. You get to pick out all of the premium accents and accessories. If you need safety features like low-profile showers or grab bars or even shower seats, they can do it all. All Bath Authority products are 100% made in the USA. They can be installed in as little as 1 day by certified factory technicians. And right now is the best time to do it. Amazing deal. Free installation on your new bath or shower. Plus, they'll give you 36 months of 0% interest financing. So don't wait. Elevate your bathroom to that new level of luxury that you've dreamt about, the style, the safety. Get to it now. Go to thebathauthority.com. A better bath awaits. We come back with a Buckeye Bulletin. Larry Johnson, he doesn't want to hear about what everyone could be screaming for. That's next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
The Big Nine was a sad, incomplete place. Enter Ohio State. The rest is history. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan.
Care Heating and Cooling. Honest technicians, honest pricing. Call 1-800-COOLING.
It's the summer sell down at Performance. Get up to $16,000 off MSRP on new 24 Jeep Wranglers and Grand Cherokees during the Make This the Summer of Jeep event. Performance, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, Georgesville, and Delaware.
Not valid on previous sales. Cannot combine offers. Must take delivery from dealer stock 8/20 to 8/31/24.
Bob's Discount Furniture is coming to Polaris, and Bob's Discount Furniture wants you to win big this football season. It's easy. Get online and go to 971thefan.com to register to win a $1,000 gift card to Bob's Discount Furniture, so you can watch your favorite football team sitting in your new Bob's recliner or couch this season. Wow. That's $1,000 from Bob's Discount Furniture. All you have to do is register to win on the fans contest page at 971thefan.com. Hurry, contest ends Wednesday, August 28th. See complete contest details online at 971thefan.com.
Picture this, the perfect summer barbecue. No stress, no responsibilities, just all your friends, burgers and hot dogs on the grill, and a delicious, refreshing Pepsi Zero Sugar in your hand. Sounds nice, doesn't it? Burgers sizzling, hot dogs cooking, Pepsi Zero Sugar fizzing, and a backyard of very, very happy people. Oh yeah, we could get used to this. Very, very used to this. Pepsi, the official beverage of Grills Night Out.
Common Man and T-Bone here. Visit Hollywood Casino Columbus this summer for exciting live sports action. We got the biggest screens around, and ESPN Bet is live in Ohio.
Plus, Penn Play Rewards members can win up to $500 Penn Cash every week. Visit PennPlaySports.com/cover5 today and register for your chance to play and win.
Not a member? Get the Penn Play app today.
Hollywood Casino Columbus is your live sports headquarters.
Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
If you miss a little, you'll miss a lot. Search for your favorite fan shows wherever you get your podcasts and subscribe. Every episode comes right to your phone absolutely free. Modern technology, it's a hell of a thing. Do it now. The Fan.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Have you ever heard someone say that they just don't make or do things like they used to? While that may be true for many things, there is one company who strives to deliver the customer experience and quality product that we all reminisce about. And that company, well, it's Newman Roofing. You can read it time and time again in their reviews, how much they truly care about their customers and the roofs that they install. And I should know, they installed a roof for me and my family, and it was tremendous. Their sales team was fantastic, and the quality was phenomenal. They strive to leave the home as they found it. And some customers say they even leave it cleaner than it was before, and I can second that. Not only do they install a quality product that is going to protect your home and family for years to come, but they also walk away leaving you feeling confident that you hired the right company. Whether you need a roof repair or replaced, call the company that families have been trusting for 32 years, and that company is Newman Roofing. 614-NEW-ROOF or newmanroofing.com.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now, but I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code LEARN for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code LEARN for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code LEARN.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Federal Elite Heating and Cooling and Bryant. doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Rothman and Ice present Buckeye Bulletin.
Sponsored by Logan AC and Heat Services. Feeling the heat? Call the experts at Logan Services now for hot deals on train systems, including 0% APR for 60 months.
A little Buckeye Bulletin time for you. You know, we talked about this a lot with this team, and they don't have to average 40 points a game to be great and be a championship team. And I think that's the beauty of...
Says you.
Well, I don't think they have to score 40 a game. Do you?
No.
Oh. Yeah, I guess you're right. Says me and you now.
Yeah. I just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah, I mean, were there days when beating Notre Dame 17-14, not great, but they did it in dramatic fashion.
Not great, Bob.
The ugly game against Penn State.
Not great, Bob.
Not great, but Ohio State football played 3 single-digit games last year. 3.
You know, you're missing the Rutgers game that was brutal.
Yeah,
remember that Rutgers game?
Yeah, but that wasn't it didn't end as single-digit.
Well, they needed a pick 6 to win the game.
They needed a pick 6 to win the game?
Remember, what's his name ran it back, and then finally they started to play like themselves?
Oh, all right. Okay, you're not talking about
it. It wasn't a game-winning pick 6. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're right. They needed a good second half.
Yeah.
I'm not going to deny that.
Yeah.
That first half was as ugly as I've seen a lot of teams, anytime I've seen them
Hancock
play.
ran that back, and then it was like, all right, they're ready.
Was that third quarter?
That was third quarter with 9 minutes and 49 seconds to go.
They gave them the lead?
They gave them the lead. They were down 9-7.
Well, I knew they were down 9-7 at half.
Yeah, it gave them the lead, 14-9. And then
they blew them out of the water.
Yeah. At one point, though, in the fourth quarter, it was 21-16.
Still a one-possession game.
Wow.
All right, I'm wrong.
And then Marvin Harrison Jr.
Want to add Rutgers to the list.
Took over. But it wasn't. They did win by 19. So.
All right, but I'm right that I think they only had 3 results last year that ended in single digits. Notre Dame, Penn State, and Michigan.
Yes, correct.
You won 2 of the 3.
And they had a lot of close games. So remember Wisconsin.
I'm not including the bowl game, so don't yell at me about that.
Well, the bowl game wasn't a one-possession game. They lost.
Yeah, that's right.
14-3.
It wasn't a single-digit game.
No,
You're right.
It was brutal.
That was a double-digit loss.
It was very similar to the Notre Dame game with the offense there.
The point of the matter is this.
Sorry, I derailed us.
No, it's okay. I'd have to look up what they averaged points. I mean, they beat Indiana 23-3 out of the gate. Now I got the schedule up in front of me.
Western Kentucky was their highest scoring game at 63 points.
But when they made their run leading up to Michigan, blowing out Michigan State, blowing out Minnesota, you felt good about it again. And you might not have to rely on the big points. Now, you go back 2 years. That was the one that was the most surprising of all to me, honestly. Because going into Michigan, beating Indiana 56-14 and Maryland 43-30, like they were just a point machine. I know they had the ugly one at Northwestern, but because that was in the hurricane,
in the wind,
right?
Yeah,
but
I mean they put up 44 against Penn State that year, 54 against Iowa. Goodness gracious!
I mean 52, 49, 49, 54, 44. By the way, that's back to back to back to back. That's Wisconsin, Rutgers, Michigan State, Iowa. And Penn State.
After the Notre Dame game, their lowest scoring game was in the 40s, other than that weird weather game against Northwestern.
Yeah, right. So, were you there in Evanston that game?
I was not. I'll be there this year when they play in Wrigley Field. I'm excited. I've never been to Wrigley.
Yeah, your first trip for a football game, that's a shame.
Well, thanks for ruining that for me, Rothman.
Yeah,
I really appreciated that. I was excited, had it circled on my wall, but I'll cross it off. Don't worry.
Quickly fly in for a baseball game so you can say the first game at Wrigley was a football game. Let me ask you this. I'll quiz both of you. You may know this more than Bake. Total yards passing from C.J. Stroud at Evanston in the Hurricane game.
87 yards.
Bake?
105.
All right, Adam's closer.
Yes, Price is Right rules. Let's go.
Well, no, you're both over. You both lose.
No!
Actually, and by the way, I should have said this at the beginning of the show. Bake already knows this.
49.
It's
1 yard.
The worst rule in the history of rules is that in the Showcase Showdown, the closest person doesn't win.
I agree.
I think that is the biggest joke. I don't know who came up with that or why, but if you're throwing thousands of dollars worth of prizes and you guess within $1 but go over and I'm thousands under and I win, who made that up?
I'll say this. I was watching
That's what I'm saying. It's a bad rule.
I was watching Price is Right at night with my sweet grandmother.
At night.
Oh, yeah. Big Price is Right fan. I grew up watching Price is Right with my grandmother every summer. There was one group that went so far over.
Killed the music on the Price is Right.
Yeah, right. All right, I get
it's
it.
Not a Buckeye Bulletin.
No, I'll stop talking.
It couldn't run out. We're not done with the segment yet.
We haven't even gotten to Larry Johnson.
We're going to.
Anyway, this one group went way over.
Pending.
And I thought, why don't you just say $1 for the next showcase, like the next group, because you're going to win.
That's the other problem.
Yeah,
when they item up for bids.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah, ridiculous.
I mean, you're doing
garbage.
a pricing
and the editor
show.
who printed it, garbage.
You're doing a pricing show and asking people to guess closest. Why are you faulting them if they go over by $1?
It's ridiculous. I won't stand for it.
Can we get that
changed? The price is wrong, Bob.
Exactly. You should have said the other word. It probably deserved it. Here's what we'll do. I'm going to play the first one because I teased it. This is Larry Johnson. Buckeye fans have been clamoring for that front four to get after the quarterback. I'll tell you what. I'll do my Al Davis because we just had Biletnikoff on. We are trying to establish that the other team's quarterback is going down, and he is going down hard. That's what Ohio State needs to do. And Larry says, don't worry about it.
We're not chasing sacks. We just chased an opportunity to get a W, first of all. But I think the most important thing in the contents of our defense, how we play. We have to play in the confinement of our defense. You know what I mean? If we can do that and play really well, then, I'm okay with that. I'm not worrying about the sacks. That's just a number to me. Is winning games have a chance to affect the quarterback throwing the ball. It was a 3-step, 5-step, 7-step. How can we affect them? Is that get our hands matching hands and we're knocking them down? Those are things that change the game also.
He's not wrong. Pressures change the game. They might even lead to picks and all that, right? Balls loose, all that. I understand it. Making a guy force the ball in or feel like he's under pressure all game. Then he's kind of hearing footsteps and he's flinching and all that. He's right. It's probably more important than an actual sack. Now, in that series, there's nothing more important than a sack and putting the down and distance and putting them behind the chains. But he's probably right.
I would argue that a better statistic to look at is QB pressures. How quickly are you making him get rid of the ball? Sacks are great. Sacks change a game. They change a drive. But in the end, think about this. On a 3rd and 6, if you sack the guy or he throws it away, it's the same result. They're punting the football. So, that's always kind of been Larry's mindset with that. Very similar to how Knowles doesn't lean into turnovers, change defenses as long as you can get off the field. It's the same concept. No matter what you're doing to get the ball in the offense's hand, you're doing a good job.
Now, we're talking about changing momentum. But Buckeye fans want it. And if you're telling me that Jack Sawyer and JT are going to total, 11 sacks again or whatever they had, I think I'd be surprised. You'd want that little number to be a little higher.
I will say this. Yeah. If Buckeye fans want to get excited about one thing, watching those two, I think for the first time in a long time, we are going to see two dominant defensive ends at Ohio State at the same time.
And I'll bolster Larry's deal. The pressures up front can allow this incredibly talented back end to just ball hawk.
Yeah.
Yeah. And really get after it. 100%. Be an opportunistic defense. All right, that's the Buckeye Bulletin. Maybe we'll hear from Ty Leak on the topic when we come back. SportsCenter update here, top of the hour. Ryan Day and the Ultimate Season. Is the program all in, including him? One analyst says yes. You'll hear it next. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
We're known for 3 things: games, conversation, and Common Man yelling about things only he cares about. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every home run, every hit, every inning, every play. From the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar.
See for yourself when you sign up today and get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only, must be present in Ohio. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply.
Are you ready to turn your passion for media into a career? Ohio Media School is the place for you. With hands-on training in radio, television, sports broadcasting, and digital media, you'll gain the skills and experience you need to succeed. Don't wait. Classes are starting soon. Visit beonair.com and take the free assessment to get started. Enroll today and take the first step towards your dream career. Ohio Media School. Your future in media starts here. Visit beonair.com. beonair.com. Enroll now.
can't believe tax season is here already. Look at all this info I have to enter.
Phil's small accounting firm is growing in numbers.
Why didn't I take that typing class in high school?
A data entry specialist could really help him in a crunch.
I got blisters on my fingers.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
You know, as they say, one person's personal information is another person's treasure.
Exactly. That's why I use NordVPN every time I surf the web. Features like Threat Protection Pro's safeguard devices from phishing websites and disable intrusive ads and trackers. Just check NordVPN.com, grab the deal, and see for yourself. NordVPN. Cybersecurity built for every day.
Hi, I'm Joanna Williams, General Manager at Tansky Sawmill Toyota, and this month 0% financing is back by popular demand on the 2024 Toyota Tundra for 48 months. But hurry in before they're gone. Visit TanskySawmillToyota.com for details. And when you think Toyota, think Tansky with approved credit, tax title, and $250 doc fee not included. Offer ends August 30th.
Think Toyota. Think Tansky. Think Tansky.
This is Paul Keels for Nature Stone Flooring, a unique blend of natural stone and their specially formulated epoxy expertly installed over existing concrete. Nature Stone is the only flooring solution for garages, basements, and indoor spaces. Family owned and operated since 1989, no other company or product can match the features, benefits, and unconditional warranty of an authentic Nature Stone floor. Visit naturestone.com today and schedule your cost estimate. Act now and save up to 50% off any Nature Stone floor. It's not just a floor, wow, it's Nature Stone.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good afternoon. I'm Ryan Baker. They're in the bottom of the third inning up at Yankee Stadium. The Guards and the Yankees tied at 0. 2 outs for the Yankees right now. Gavin Williams on the mound for Cleveland. 6:40 tonight. The Reds, they're over in Pittsburgh starting a series with the Pirates. Heck of a pitching matchup. Nick Lodolo gets the start for Cincy opposite Paul Skeens. Former Reds first baseman Joey Votto announced his retirement yesterday on his Instagram. He was attempting to make a comeback from shoulder surgery in the Toronto Blue Jays organization. The Bengals, they play their final preseason game tonight at 8 o'clock. They host the Colts. The Washington Commanders have traded wide receiver Jahan Dotson to the Philadelphia Eagles. And Iowa Hawkeyes coach Kirk Ferentz has been suspended 1 game for a recruiting violation. This one's sponsored by Nature Stone. Schedule your free cost estimate right now over at naturestone.com. Wow, it's Nature Stone.
Most shows just skim the surface, but Rothman and I feel like the biggest story of the day deserves a closer look. It's time for a deeper dive.
Sponsored by Maxima Concrete. Visit MaximaConcrete.com today to schedule your free estimate.
All right, final hour of the program, Rothman and Ice. Anthony Rothman, Adam King, 10 TV. Riding shotgun today.
Riding shotgun. My hair undone in the front seat of his car.
I don't think that was necessary, but that's fine.
Well, some viewer at home continued.
Maybe I should have said sidecar, not shotgun. Like you're actually outside the vehicle.
No, we're together.
Was that Mrs. Travis Kelce I just heard in there?
That was the Taylor Swift, or T Swift as the kids refer to her.
Yeah,
Rothman
I
doesn't
hear the
understand.
songs.
Rothman he doesn't know what that's.
I always knew you were a Swiftie, King.
Taylor Swift is dating Travis Kelce.
Yes,
Rothman. They're together.
Well aware.
Kelsey's a tight end for the Chiefs. Swift's a big star.
Thank you.
Just wanted to fill
when
you in
we
there.
were hanging out at the Super Bowl, and where we're in Vegas.
Name drop.
That was
goodness
the
gracious.
That was the big question.
Throw it out on the table.
That was the big question on the table from when we were in that scrum when I was in there with Kelsey about whether she was going to be able to make the Super Bowl, right? Yeah. She was in Japan, whether she was going to fast lane that over to the Super Bowl somehow, and it was like the biggest problem, and how's she going to get there? And
when I was sitting down with the King, that was the same conversation. We were over in Buckingham Palace, and the question was, could Taylor Swift get to the Super Bowl? It's very, I can relate.
Were you drinking some Beefeater gin at the time as well?
We were drinking Beefeater gin, and we were having a lovely time.
How about Kelsey and Happy Gilmore 2 reported?
I saw. How about Happy Gilmore 2 in its own right? Even without
That's
Pretty
news
good.
to me. Did not see that.
No.
Pretty
Is
good.
there a trailer?
No, it's just starting filming.
Did you see the video of the casting for extras? It was like a big warehouse, and people were just lined around this warehouse trying to get into the movie.
You know how
to
Baker
be an
saw
extra.
that? Because he was in line.
I wish. I was at AR's golf outing, so.
Thank you, sir.
He seemed bitter about that.
No, it was
That
a
I
great
had
time.
to go.
Yeah, he's like, I was at a golf outing. Otherwise, I'd have been front and center.
It's more about my golf game and not the outing itself. The
Gotcha.
outing is a fine outing.
Gotcha.
Listen, you guys were scrambling to greatness at certain times.
One of these days, I'm
Hank
going
hits
to
a
win a
hell of a
raffle
ball.
prize. One of these days, I'm going to.
You got to buy more. That's the problem. It's you just got to jam that ballot box.
Look, if I had Adam King's budget, I'd buy all of them.
For a cool $10,000, you can get a Jeremiah Smith signed glove. I'll give it to you.
Hey, did you get your pumpkin Starbucks delivered yet that you just ordered online? Oh, you do have it. This guy is he's elite. He found a way.
Listen, I actually was going to go to Starbucks on the way in, and then I hit what some people call traffic. Never heard of it. Pretty terrible. 10 out of 10 don't recommend. And so somebody else said they were making a Starbucks run. I said, hey, if I could get in on that, I'd love it. That's the story. That's all I got.
Thank you for your time. If you fly, I'll buy. Was that involved or no?
Yeah, you fly, I'll buy.
And then he asked him to break 100.
Yeah,
That's
well,
right.
it's a $3 drink, and I said, can you break 100? And they were a little offended.
Can you break 100?
I said, throw it in the tip jar and call it a day.
Sure you did.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm just that kind of guy, That's who I am.
Oh,
That's
thick bankroll for this kid.
Yeah, at least $12 an hour.
Another guy that makes some decent money over there at Ohio State is Ryan Day, and he's got a record to show for it. However, everybody knows what the elephant in the room is, and that's beating the rival and then parlaying that into a title. They spent a lot of money. They went to the portal. They worked hard, and they built this roster into one of the most hyped rosters we've ever heard of. Now, whether that turns into the execution and getting all the way to the finish line, being the last team standing, that's why they're going to play the games. And we keep hearing the same thing. It's a long season. You need depth. But they are in a better position than most when it comes to trying to win a title this year, because we've talked about this. They can slip up. They can still get in. They've got enough to play for a bye. They could win a championship many different ways.
Mm-hmm.
They can win it waiting for you, sitting in the catbird seat in a bye, or they can circle back and they'll be the team you don't want to see. Because I said it earlier in the program, can you imagine if in a perfect year you were a team like Ole Miss that got into a 14 playoff? You're like, thank God no Ohio State this year. Well, they're going to be there at some point. Avoiding them is going to be impossible. Can they be beaten by a team on any given Saturday? Of course they can. But I said that wrong. Not by any team. That would be wrong. They could play a bad game and win 80% of their schedule. Right? They could win ugly in 80% of this schedule. I feel that's God's honest truth.
I genuinely, I don't even know if win ugly,
not play their best.
I agree with that. I think win ugly, not play their best is very possible. I think they could win by 28 and not play their best in all but maybe 3 games. Penn State, maybe at Northwestern. I'll add 4. Penn State, at Northwestern, Michigan, and then, of course, Oregon. You've got to bring your game.
Do you guys still have the second Urban Bite that we were talking about? It was the second one, the sound bite. See if you guys can grab that and give me a thumbs up. That's the one about what we're just talking about.
Here's the challenge, and I want Mark's opinion on this. How do you keep all happy? Their schedule is kind of a joke early on. They're going to be 50-point favorites in the first 3 games. They have a bye week, and then they play Michigan State, which is a shell of himself right now. So the starters will probably play 30 to 40 plays in the first month of the season. That means statistically they're not going to have many catches. The running backs are going to not have many carries because you're not going to play those guys in the second half of those games.
I'm going to change a word for him, and it's just my feeling. Forget about keeping them happy. It's about keeping them focused. That's it. All I've heard from this team is that they all came back for one reason only, to win a title. So if I start hearing any crap about not getting the ball, then that something went wrong in the whole dynamic of what they've been preaching. That's just my opinion. I don't like this garbage out keeping them happy. I'm not looking at that. We have not talked Heisman candidates. We have not talked about anything. We've talked about beating the rival and winning a title, and they all came back to do it. They've been humbled. They've been motivated to come back, whether it's financially, mentally, emotionally, whatever it is. They're all here for one. Well, that's all I'm hearing is all for one. So that's weird for me to hear him say that the challenge is keeping them happy. It should be keeping them focused, because if they are going to be favored by 100 and they win these games by 100, the biggest fear I have is that they won't be tested going into that Iowa game, and then you get a false sense of security. That's my feeling. He knows a lot more than I do, but I'm more worried about that. But maybe he knows the inner workings a little bit different.
So Ryan Day talks tonight, and I think you've added a question that I want to ask him, and it is, how much this year is about proving a point? And I understand style points. Coaches don't care about that. But I think if you let everybody play until the end of the third quarter, every game, and obviously it's a long season, you want to manage workloads, but every rep counts. That's been their slogan the entire offseason. Every rep counts. I think against Akron, you don't want to waste reps in the second. You don't want to sit these guys down in the second half. You want to let them go out there and continue to get better.
Yeah, but all I've been hearing about is how long the season is and how much depth they're going to have. You also have to protect them from themselves. The key is staying healthy. Yes, there's a balance in sharpness versus health.
Then my problem here is when Ohio State scores 14 against Akron, scores 14 against Western Michigan, 14 against Marshall, you could sit down the starters. I just think you need to let these guys go out and play as a unit. There's a lot of new faces. Let them go into East Lansing and ball out for 3 quarters and then sit them down, as opposed to having a number in your head where if we get up by 40, okay, let's pull them. Let them play until
No, if you're up 40 in the first quarter, I understand why you wouldn't want to just rip all your starters out, because then you didn't probably get
But I think if you're up 40 in the third quarter, they should still be in.
Why?
Because
you're protecting health. Unless there's something specific that you need to see out of a certain unit or a certain player, then fine. But the idea is to win the game, manage your health, and manage the balance of what work you need to put in. If they need more work, and Ryan Day comes to the podium afterward, this is why I kept my starters in the fourth quarter in a 40-point game, then that's his team. He has every right to do it. But I don't think there's just a general statement you can throw out that this is how it has to be done. It's situational.
So here's what I worry about with Akron, Western Michigan, Marshall, and Michigan State is there's a very real chance that after the first drive of the second half, we never see the starters again in any of those games. That means you go into Iowa on October 5th having your starters only play 2 full games. And you're leading to my point, which is there may be a little false sense of security. What they want to get out of their first 3 games, if you want to include Michigan State, because Urban did 4. Yeah, what a stray taken at Michigan State there by Urban. A shell of themselves.
He's probably not wrong.
No.
But rarely would he disrespect a conference team that way.
Yeah.
Because all these coaches say, oh, Big Ten, Big Ten, Big Ten, right? And so you would never truly disrespect. But he's in the media now, and I applaud it, because now he's being ultimately very candid. But the thing about it is that's the only thing that's the biggest challenge of a highly talented team is how long you leave guys in for. Because if you know you're more talented than 90% of the teams out there, then the idea is to keep them healthy, not keep them happy.
I genuinely, this is going to be a statement, and it's probably not a great one to make, but I genuinely believe that Ohio State could win 6, 7, 8 games on their schedule, maybe 7 games on their schedule with their second team, and not stress.
Yeah, I don't know. From tip to finish, I'm not sure you win that many with just your backups. I understand what you're illustrating is how talented they are from the top to the bottom. I understand that. I just feel like this team, it's tough because the non-conference is so overmatched that it'd be, even if you left your starters in for 4 quarters, it won't prove anything. You're just only going to be padding stats.
Reps matter. And there's so much new in this offense that I worry that they're going to run into Iowa, or more so, not Iowa, but the game that sits right after Iowa. Well, and we're going to say, we haven't seen these guys play a full game.
Listen, Iowa's going to have the same issue. They're playing Illinois State and Troy, and like they're, Everybody does this. They ramp up into their season, and Ryan Day and his coaches will identify what they need to get done in those first 3 games because they also want to see the backups play because they may need them.
That's true.
It's important. They keep saying it. I don't think it's a cliche.
No, I
think if you let the young quarterbacks play and let those guys go out there like a spring game scrimmage and let them throw the ball around and get hit and make mistakes, it only can help you. So, yes, if he thinks he needs the starters for more in a blowout game, he's going to have to do it. But I don't think I'm going back to the original point Urban made, which is he's more worried about them staying happy. Like you pull the starters out, that suddenly they're going to start some sort of revolt, like the starters should be playing. Well, it shouldn't based on what we're hearing.
Yeah, I also think if the starters are being pulled, that means that everybody's gotten their fair share.
Or they just scored so fast.
Yes, that's exactly.
That the game got so out of hand and they don't want to play their starters in a 50-point game in the first half.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right.
We'll come back and we'll do some pre-snap reads, and we get to talk about Russell Wilson. Could he be gone before he starts? The rumors are flying. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
If you haven't thought about Buckeye football today, I'm sorry to tell you that you're dead. Our condolences. Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan.
You know that thing you've always been too scared to go for? It seems like you'll never have the guts. Then a cancer diagnosis. And doing that thing becomes way less scary. I would know. I've always wanted a black belt. And today, the only thing standing in my way is a few wooden boards. It's been a lot of hard work and 5 years since I beat cancer at Ohio Health. Bring it on. You keep making plans.
Visit ohiohealth.com/keep making plans to learn more.
Common Man here for Care Heating and Cooling. Weather is unpredictable, but the inside of your home should be comfortable just the way you like it. And the best way to avoid those unnecessary surprises is with a care plan. See, with a care plan, you get priority service, system maintenance in case of an emergency. Just another way to give you and your family peace of mind. And maintaining your systems properly can help save you money. A properly maintained furnace and air conditioner run more efficiently, reducing your utility usage. Regular maintenance also prevents breakdowns and extends the life of your equipment. I'm on the care plan, and I'm quite the expert. I'll stop by and give your system a once-over. I will. Don't tempt me. I end every commercial the same way, telling you to hire Care when you need a company you can trust. It's not just a slogan. That's the Care creed. How about this? Lennox. They have thousands of dealers nationwide. HVAC royalty. Last year, Lennox gave Care their coveted Partner of the Year award because they're trusted by their customers and their partners. Care Heating and Cooling. Call 1-800-COOLING or book an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com when you need a company you can trust.
By the time you're finished listening to this Pepsi Zero Sugar, you'll be 15 seconds closer to kickoff. Stock up now. Bengals game day is so close, you can almost taste it. Bengals watching. Better with Pepsi.
Get your air conditioner fixed fast. Call Care Heating and Cooling. 1-800-COOLING.
Much like a vampire, we need to be invited into your house. But once we're in, we never leave. Listen to The Fan on your Alexa or Google Home smart speaker. Just say play 97.1 The Fan and prepare to be amazed. Do it now.
Hey friends, Beamer Carp and Shark here for Morning Juice. Now you've heard us talk a lot about FanDuel. That would be America's #1 sportsbook. Well, we've got something a little different for you now through September 22nd. All FanDuel customers, not just new ones, but if you've already had an account, all FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. I had it last year. I'm getting it this year. I don't even have to leave my couch to watch all of the NFL action all season long. I absolutely love it, Bob.
And then with a YouTube TV base plan, you'll be able to watch every regular season Sunday afternoon game out of market. All you need is a Google account and a current form of payment, and you can cancel anytime. You sit there, Sharky, with that quad box. You can bounce around. You can spin through all of them. It's all there for you, and it's all terrific.
All you have to do, Bob, is visit FanDuel.com/juice to download America's #1 sportsbook. Must be 21 and older and present in Ohio. Full price of NFL Sunday Ticket will be automatically charged seasonally after free trial. No refunds, terms, restrictions, and embargoes apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Healthcare.gov is here for you when life happens. If you lost your health coverage because of turning 26, going off Medicaid, leaving your job, or moving, you could be eligible to enroll in new coverage now. And if you need to update your coverage because of marriage or having a baby, you could also be eligible. But don't wait. There's a limited time to enroll. Check your eligibility at healthcare.gov today. Life happens. Get covered. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
The Ohio Chapter International Society of Arboriculture's mission is committed to advancing responsible tree care practices. They remind herbicide and pesticide users to always read and follow the product label. The label is the law, so take the time to know how it should be used and how to use it safely. To find out more, there are over 1,000 qualified arborists in Ohio. Visit www.treesforohio.org to find an arborist near you. That's www.treesforohio.org.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We're looking at a pretty nice day today. Sunshine all afternoon. Temperature going to make its way up to around 80 degrees with a high light winds throughout the day. Tonight, clear skies, mid-50s. We'll be back up toward the mid-80s for Friday as sunshine continues all day long. Temperatures push near 90 Saturday, hitting the 90s for most by Sunday. Humidity creeping up through the weekend as well. I'm 10 Weather Impact meteorologist Michael Behrens with your latest forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365 is the exclusive online sportsbook of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Rothman and Ice present Pre-Snap Reads.
Sponsored by the Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
All right, little Bet365 time at Bet365. We don't do ordinary. See for yourself when you sign up today and get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. So I'm going to do something stupid, which is fairly normal for me, and I might put a little bit on a preseason football game tonight, just to say I did. Bears are at the Chiefs.
The Bears.
It sounds weird. I don't think any starters are playing in this, especially Mahomes and his crew. We know that. The Bears are favored by a point. I don't know if you know this, but the Bears have been perfect in the preseason. They haven't lost. It's a hard knocks offseason for them. Is there something that tells me that they'll want to finish the preseason perfect and beat the Chiefs with the secret Bajent man tonight? Is Wentz playing for the Chiefs? I'm going to take the Bears to complete a perfect preseason game and lay the point in a stupid preseason bet, probably of just that $5 at Bet365. Will you make the jump with me, or are you going to stay in the airplane and watch me go splat?
I think I'm just going to sit back and watch you sweat over a preseason game because that sounds fun.
I'm not going to sweat over it.
No, I think you're going to sweat. I want you sitting in that chair, gripping the couch. I can see it happening. I'm ready for it.
Just total flop sweat.
Sweating in the pizza sweats.
I'm going to do it, boys. Bears are going to complete a perfect preseason, and they're going to beat the Chiefs without their starters. Because I'm going for Bajent's going to play well.
Duh, Bears.
All right. If you want to join me, you can. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment. It's never ordinary at Bet365, as you saw from that bet. Bet365 is the official sports betting partner of the Cleveland Guardians. Download the Bet365 app today. You have to be 21 or older, must be present in the great state of Ohio. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply.
And may the odds be ever in your favor.
All right. I saw this the other day because it was my team, but I think it's relevant, and I heard it because Mike Tannenbaum brought up something here right close to the season that made me kind of step up a little bit and go, wow, I could think about that for a half second. I'll let him tell you.
I think a win-win here is to trade Russell Wilson to Minnesota. I think he's a better quarterback than Sam Darnold. They certainly could battle it out. And then Ryan Tannehill's still a free agent, guys. And you go back to the 2 years that Ryan Tannehill was with Arthur Smith at Tennessee. They had an unbelievable 2-year run. 18-8, they averaged 30 points per game. Let him come in and at least initially back up Justin Fields. But now you have Justin Fields, who we already said is young. You have Ryan Tannehill, who knows the system and has done a great job with Arthur Smith in the past. And maybe you pick up an extra third or fourth round pick.
Is it really a win-win? Because the plan for the Vikings, now that J.J. McCarthy is out for the season, and the plan has always been to get Sam Darnold ready enough, get him all the work in the offseason to prepare him to be the starter. Now, I guess from a depth standpoint, I would wonder why the Steelers, who are hardly paying Russell anything, the only thing that this makes me feel is if you get Russell Wilson out of the building in Pittsburgh, then you can finally go all in on Justin Fields. I don't know why you wouldn't start Fields, and then if he flops after several games and you feel like he's hit the ceiling and you're not going to get what you need out of him, then you go to the veteran. Russell Wilson is in Pittsburgh not to carry them from the start, but to give them a floor of some kind if Fields flops. I think they've got this reverse. I would start Fields if he's ready and let him go for several games. But I know what Mike Tomlin's about. He's not about throwing away seasons. He's about competing. He wants maybe the best guy to win the job right now. But if you're an organization, Pittsburgh has to find out about Fields sooner than later.
Mike Tomlin is about getting above 500 every season. That's the one goal right there.
If that's Pittsburgh's new mantra, then they got the wrong guy.
It's the best bet every year in the NFL.
Above 500, and he promises you that. Here's my problem, and I feel like we do this all the time in sports and say, like, well, they should trade now because, of course, the Vikings want him, and, of course, his trade value's high. Is it?
Well, they feel that they can leverage a team, but you're leveraging with no ammunition. Russell's not exactly I can't make the case that Sam Darnold's worse than Russell Wilson right now.
Do you think the Vikings are sitting there watching Russell Wilson like they would have been 5 years ago, saying, "Wow, we have to get him"? I mean, they're looking at it going, "Well, I mean, sure. I mean, I guess we could play Sam Darnold or play Russell Wilson, but either way, we're in trouble."
Here's the difference: Tannenbaum is good. I like him. He was a former GM. I think he's a smart guy. But here's the bottom line. He's not a coach. He's not a coach. So you're trading for a quarterback this late in the offseason and expecting him to start and win a battle over Sam Darnold, a guy you've been prepping the entire offseason to start? Like, don't you think Russell would be a little behind the eight ball with KOC's, the complex offense and all that? Like, he's a depth piece. The Steelers either have to keep him for depth. The Vikings aren't in a position. Would I like the depth of him? Maybe, but I hate to break this to both teams. They're not Super Bowl contenders. I mean, Pittsburgh's closer than the Vikes this year, a lot closer, maybe to upsetting somebody and getting into the playoffs with that defense. And maybe if Justin becomes something, but you're not really worried about where they're going with Russell Wilson. I understand the whole premise of it. It sounded interesting to me. Like I said earlier, for a half a second, I'm like, wait a minute, would I rather have Russell Wilson or Sam Darnold right now? And then I had to slap myself and say, it doesn't matter.
Well, it's not only that it doesn't matter. I think that we have gotten to a point, and I think Deshaun Watson fits this mold, where the name carries more weight than the actual game. Because Russell Wilson last year, threw for 3,000 yards, 26 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions. I think Sam Darnold could probably do that this year for the Minnesota Vikings. That's where I think, if you go back to 2020, he had 40 touchdowns and 13 interceptions. That's a hell of a season. But when you look at this in the grand scheme of things, he's Russell Wilson. Do you really want to bring him in and try this? And you're right, Sam Darnold's been there. He's ready. It's not great either way. It's a lose-lose either way. Why give something up to try to get him?
In 2016, the Vikings were coming off a 2015 season in which they won the North. Right? They were hoping to be a contender. Teddy Bridgewater had an injury that you would never want to witness or experience. The Vikings made a trade and got Sam Bradford from the Eagles. Why? So they could still contend to win the NFC. This year is not even close to that for the Vikings. Not even close. They're prepping for 2025. So I'm not saying the Vikings are tanking. Of course they're not. But this is not a season to somehow panic and say, we need a veteran quarterback and Russell Wilson to save us.
They're not going to make a run to the Super Bowl.
Correct.
It's not to bring it back to the Buckeyes, but Ohio State needed a quarterback to win this year. They had to go get Will Howard.
Like I said, I don't care if Wilson is better than Sam Darnold. Yeah. I think Will Howard brings a different set of experience to the table, and that's a contender. Like you said, that's the difference.
You don't go out and make a move to go, 8-7, 8-8, 8-9.
Yes.
Matt checks out there. I'm sorry. Every year they add another
17
game.
games.
Yeah, every year
But that's when I saw it, when I heard him say it, I thought, all right, this is cool. Probably was a story for about a month ago, not now. And here we are. And I still come back to my original point, which is why aren't the Steelers leaning more Fields than Wilson? And it might be just to kind of protect the floor at this point to start the season.
I mean, I think you get way more with Justin Fields. I think the upside is
You
way
get
higher.
way more athletically. You may not get way more as a quarterback. We don't know that yet.
I think that
I'm willing to see how it goes, though.
I don't think the floor is that different, and I think the ceiling is. Thank you for your time.
The ceiling is the roof.
The ceiling is the roof.
Andy Backstrom. We talk about the ceiling of the Buckeyes and how they will strategize those first few games. He's from Letterman Row. He'll join us next. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
A lot has changed in 30 years, but we're still that old shoe that feels worn in and well-loved. And, well, we smell a little, but you've accepted that. The Fan.
We're dealing at Reichert Nissan. Hundreds of Nissans in stock, on the ground, and priced to sell fast. Low lease payments on brand new Reichert Nissan Sentras, only $219 a month. Now we're really dealing. With our lowest prices and 72-hour exchange policy, you can't buy the wrong car. Visit the Reichert Mega Mall off 270 and 33, or shop thousands of new and certified used at ReichertNissan.com.
Get the right car at Reichert.
We're dealing.
With approved credit. 2024 Sentra SV FWD 36-month lease with $3,000 due at signing. Offer ends 9/3/24.
Coming this Labor Day weekend, Bob's biggest challenge yet. It's time to dare to compare. It's got action. It's got suspense. It's got beeps and boops and dings and whomps and more savings than you'll believe on living rooms, dining rooms, bedrooms, mattresses, and more. And best of all, you get to play too this Labor Day weekend. Now open in Reynoldsburg and coming soon to Polaris. See how much you can save this Labor Day weekend when you dare to compare at a Bob's near you.
And what is it called?
A ceiling fan.
And where is it?
It's on the floor.
And why is that a problem?
Well, see, the person who named it probably should have called it a floor. No, that's not right. The guy on TV I saw put up a ceiling fan.
Are you a TV star, Paul?
No, I'm not.
Are you an electrician, Paul?
I am not.
You are?
I am a middle management accountant, and I shouldn't be putting up ceiling fans.
You should.
Call the pros who knows.
Apex
Pros.
The pros who knows know electrical work too. Hi, it's Alex from Apex Pros. And if you'd like us for plumbing, cooling, and heating, you're gonna love our pro electricians.
Apex Pros are on the way.
Much easier, isn't it?
I'm glad we sorted this out.
Me too.
Columbus loves the pros who knows. Schedule with one click at apexpros.com.
Wouldn't it be fun if we went back and aired old Buckeye games where they kicked the crap out of people? It's happening, baby. Join Timmy Hall for Buckeye Replay, Saturday at 1.
This week, Ohio State and Oregon in the national title game.
The Fan.
At AAA, it's our policy to look on the plus side, and AAA Plus members tend to take the same view. Take Martin. Last Monday, his coffee surprised him with an extra 10 degrees of Fahrenheit. It was just the jolt of energy he needed. Later, when he walked into a door, he was happy to provide entertainment for his coworkers.
I'm okay.
And when his car battery took early retirement, he knew expert roadside assistance was only a call away.
Hello, AAA.
Become a AAA Plus member and experience peace of mind on the plus side. Towing is subject to a 7-day waiting period. Terms and conditions apply.
The Super Sale is back this Friday and Saturday only at Meyer. Shop for sports, family dinners, or get-togethers, and find super low prices on favorites like Halo Mandarins for 99 cents, boneless center-cut half pork loin for $1.79 per pound, and Body Armor or Powerade sports drinks for 88 cents each. Shop super low Meyer prices while supplies last, and get the same prices in-store and online. Shop the Meyer Super Sale this Friday and Saturday only. Exclusions apply. See all deals in-store and in the Meyer app.
When there's a United Dairy Farmers nearby, special savings are too. Stop by while energy drinks are buy two, get one free. Monster, Celsius, Red Bull, and more for less. Only with UDrive Plus at UDF.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every home run, every hit, every inning, every play, from the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar.
Whether it's a walk-off granny or a base hit to center field, whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 and older, must be present in Ohio. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
It's the summer sell down at Performance. Get up to $16,000 off MSRP on new 24 Jeep Wranglers and Grand Cherokees during the Make This the Summer of Jeep event. Performance Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, Georgesville and Delaware.
Not valid on previous sales. Cannot combine offers. Must take delivery from dealer stock 8/20 to 8/31/24.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio Sports sports destination.
Thoughtfully discussing the merits of Home Run Inn's frozen pizza. This is Rothman and Ice.
All right, covers Ohio State on the Buckeye beat. Andy Backstrom, our friend from Letterman Row, and a lot more. And he joins us now on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Welcome back, Andy.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
We were discussing the strategy, and this may be situational in the first few games where they're going to be where the opponents will be so overmatched by Ohio State. And I know it's very tough, probably question for you to answer, but I mean, do you sense, and I'll ask it that way, do you sense that Ryan Day and Chip Kelly want to get the most work they can for the most guys? Or is it about finding a sharpness balance so when they do take this team on the road or when they come back and play Iowa, they feel like they've given the number ones everything they need?
I think the beauty of this schedule is that they have some time, right? You know, last year you open up Big Ten play, week 1 on the road against Indiana. The year before that, you got the game against Notre Dame. This time you have 3 non-conference games that are easier matchups. You have time for those young guys to get that action that you're talking about, to play a lot of snaps and not really worry about the outcome of the game. And then you have the Michigan State game where I think you can kind of, you know, maybe a little bit more serious with how you're delineating those snaps across the board. And then you have Iowa and then you go to Oregon. So I think the schedule builds naturally for this progression for the young guys to get in there.
Sorry, I had my mic off. I'm a rookie here. Andy, got to ask you, of all of the beat writers that are on television, who's your favorite and why is it me?
Oh, it's got to be Adam King.
Phenomenal answer, and that's all we have time for. No, Andy, with this coaching kind of balance of playing the players, how much do you think it benefits, especially someone like Will Howard, to play into the fourth quarter of a game like Akron? I know it's an Akron defense, but you are getting the reps.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, it's a new offense for him, and he's got to get comfortable, that's for sure. I think with that kind of situation, you just want to make sure that you're not risking injury. And with a game against Akron, you know, they could very well hang 70 on Akron. I mean, they played them back in the 2021 season, and Kyle McCord was playing, and that was his first career start, and they scored 59 points. So, you know, they might very well score 70 on Akron in week 1. And if you're late into a game and you're up by 30, 40, even 50 points, I just don't see the point of having someone like Will Howard out there just for the risk of injury. But I agree with you, they need to play him enough to the point where he's comfortable in this offense so that when you do start Big Ten play in East Lansing against Michigan State, he's fully ready to go.
Now, Andy, we can talk about the big names, Will Howard, Caleb Downs. We know about JT and Jack. Give me one guy on this team that we're not talking about right now that at the end of the year everybody's going to be saying his name.
Yeah, it's a great question. I think Arvell Reese comes to mind first.
There you go.
The linebacker that has really popped out, the second scrimmage, graded out a champion, and I think, you know, even last summer made an impact right away. It's hard to come in as a summer arrival and immediately get playing time. He did that on special teams. I think those are the guys I look for to have year 2 breakouts. Arvell Reese is definitely one of them. I think at the safety position where they're a little bit concerned about depth, you know, Jalen McClain could play right away, and it's just someone who's always around the ball, and I think will become a fan favorite sooner rather than later. So those are 2 defensive guys that pop up for me. And then, you know, maybe at the tight end position, Will Kacmarek, you know, kind of flies under the radar to transfer from Ohio University. But I wouldn't be surprised if he's the leading pass catcher for that group. I know he loves playing the Y tight end position. He loves the physicality of being in line. But don't be surprised if he leads that tight end group in receiving yards.
Andy, I asked for one player, and you gave us 3. So you kind of spread your numbers out there. I like it. Playing the field. You can go ahead, Anthony.
Absolutely.
It's a depth answer. He went. He dug deep for you. All right, they won't tell you where they're concerned, but you can tell me where most of these guys feel like this offensive line. Is it coming together? Do you feel like there's still question marks on it? How do you feel about that up front?
It's definitely going to be a wait-and-see thing for all of us, but I do believe there's more confidence in the group within the building than there maybe was last year, and that's just because, one, experience, and having an anchor like Seth McLaughlin, who has played so much football as your center, goes a long, long way. And just talking to the defensive tackles, Ty Hamilton, Tyleek Williams yesterday, they really like going up against Seth McLaughlin. So I think that really helps. And then you got the returning starters, Donovan Jackson, Josh Simmons, Josh Fryer. The right guard position, it really feels like Tegra Shabola is taking hold of that. Carson Hinsman's still in that mix and still in the competition there. But either answer there, you feel pretty good about. I think the question for me is going to be, the depth of this group. If they do have to weather an injury, how do they respond to that? Whether it's the tackle depth, Austin Saraveld, someone that's been mentioned a lot recently, is someone who could step in if there was injury, and of course whoever loses that battle between Tegra Shabola and Carson Hinsman. So I like the confidence they have in the offensive line, and I will say watching those pass rush reps in practice that we did get to see, it felt more even this year than it did in years past.
All right, let me ask you a little bit about where they are from a Will Howard standpoint. You've seen him in practice. We've seen him throw the football. He seems to check all the boxes. Are you still in a wait-and-see mode as far as what kind of rifle he has? I mean, we saw a little bit certainly in the spring that he has a little bit of a fastball. I know accuracy and completion percentage is something he's fought in his career. What do you think are the biggest challenges for Will Howard when it comes to playing championship football for Ohio State?
Yeah, I think the only question I have is just the downfield accuracy, the throws that travel 20 or more yards through the air. Just in his career, he's been up and down in that category. I have no questions about the kind of athlete he is. I think he's going to wow a lot of people with how fast he is. He's a big body that moves really fast, straight line, and he's got some wiggle to him too. So I think he's going to be a real threat with his legs. And the short, medium throws, I don't think he has a problem with at all. My question is, if it's 3rd and 12 and he needs to convert that pass maybe 15 yards through the air, is the ball going to be on the money? But again, with the schedule, they got some time to work those kinks out. But you'd like to see that progressing well through the first month. Whereas the problem with Kyle McCord last year, who again was much less experienced, you just didn't see that growth. I think the encouraging thing about Will Howard in this offense is every day in training camp, or just about every day, there was gradual progression. And I think that's what Ryan Day really likes to see.
All right, Andy, yes or no, we're going to lock you in and play this back in December. Does Caleb Downs get a carry at running back this year?
Yes, absolutely. I think you get like 10 maybe this year. I don't know if it's just the standard carry in the backfield, but I think they're going to play around with him a little bit. And he was asked about it this week. Is that just a throwaway comment from Ryan Day when he said in June that, you've been working there? And he almost laughed at that and said, no, I take that seriously. I believe him when he says that. I think they're going to use him. Now, you don't want to get him hurt, but again, this is football. So you got to do what you got to do to win a game. I think he's ultra talented. I think, any way you can get the ball in his hands, whether it's defensively, special teams, or offense, I'm of the belief, let the guy get at it.
That'll be interesting. All right, Andy, well done, my man. Thanks for jumping on. We'll talk again soon.
Thanks, guys.
Andy Backstrom, Letterman Row on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems Fangust Hotline.
Really liked his take on his favorite person on the beat. I thought that was a nice take.
You walked him right into that one. I'm going to take the under on your number.
So here's my thing real quick for the listeners at home. He said he hadn't
I don't think they're at home, but they might be.
They could be.
Could be anywhere, really.
He said he hadn't gotten a carry all fall camp. That tells me all I need to know. If you haven't gotten a rep yet, it's not happening.
So here's the thing. I've said it before. I'll say it again. When it happens, it'll happen in a fun moment, probably against an overmatched team, and everyone will applaud, and they'll think it's the coolest thing, and the smiles will be ear to ear. And you'll applaud that, and you go, wow, that's neat. They have a wealth of riches, and they can take one of their best defensive guys and put him on offense. It's unnecessary. I don't know if he's better than Quinshon Judkins and Travion Henderson. That's interesting to me. Maybe he is, but all it would take was him to tweak something. Now, like Andy said, he could tweak something playing defense. The difference is the optics of him tweaking something with you handing him the ball. It sounds too boastful that you did it, and you'll take heat for it. Like, why was that necessary? So I think there's a lot of risk. Now, if it's in a big game and he gets it done for you, of course, you do what you have to do to win a game. I just find it, you said, what was your over-under, 10.5 carries or whatever that was?
I said 1.
Oh, he said 10.
He said 10. I said,
okay.
does
I'm
he
taking
get
the under
1?
on his number.
Yeah. 2 quick things on that. 1, if you put Caleb Downs in the game at running back, you have to hand him the ball, but then you also have to put him in when he doesn't get the ball, because otherwise everybody on defense is going to say number 2 is getting the ball. And so
I said against overmatched opponents, it may not matter.
But the other problem there is If you're going to put him in as a decoy, that means you're taking another good, talented player off the field. And
that's my point. It's unnecessary. But when it happens, and if it happens at a good moment and he actually scores, you'll be like, oh, my God, they have so many options.
You're going to have to keep your eye out, see if they switch his jersey on the sideline, because he can't have 2 2s. So see if he's wearing a number 4, and you'll say, hey, he's coming in this series.
I think you're on something.
Get your binoculars.
What about Jeremiah Smith?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! See if he's wearing 99.
It's just one of those things that, in a moment, if you put him in there so he can get a reward of a touchdown or something,
it's a reward.
And then you're sharing the wealth, and everyone's happy, and it's I can't believe a defense. I get it. We'll come back. Tell the truth. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
An ex-jock and a very puffy, smooth-faced man. These are the first voices you should hear. Morning Juice. Your wake-up service.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 9.
The Fan.
We know your golf game is ugly, but your course doesn't have to be. Experience the natural beauty of Delaware Golf Club today. Delaware Golf Club is now open to the public and only 10 miles up the road from 270. For the best rates, book your tee time online at DelawareGolfClub.com.
Hey, welcome to IKEA's Complete Sleep event. Don't miss dreamy offers on sleep essentials.
I've tried carrying sheep, but keep losing track.
We've got you. IKEA family members save 15% off your purchase of $300 or more on select sleep comfort items. Plus, we're throwing a pajama party in-store on August 31st. Wear your favorite PJs for a free breakfast.
Ooh, we have matching PJs.
Don't wait. Go to IKEA-USA.com/bettersleep or visit your local store today. Offer valid August 7th through September 10th. U.S. only. See store and IKEA-USA.com for full details and eligible items. Restrictions apply.
Look what we have here. It's the refreshing deliciousness of a Pepsi mini can. It's the perfect complement to any meal. The dash of indulgence your day was dreaming of. The sip that'll have you singing Pepsi.
Nope, not again, Steve. Let's take a cue from the Pepsi mini can and pack all that awesomeness you're feeling into a much smaller treat for everyone. Deal?
So, big awesomeness, smaller size. I think I've got just the thing.
Pepsi mini can. Mini can, big taste.
More and more people are falling into problem gambling. Mary Haven's experts offer comprehensive care. You and your loved ones can count on mental, emotional, and financial guidance.
Confidential and judgment-free. Go to maryhaven.com today.
That's the sound of sweat. Falling drip by miserable drip. Because your AC has decided to call it quits in this heat. But the Waterworks Heating and Cooling team never quits. So no sweat. The Waterworks offers same-day AC service to help you keep your cool this summer. And that sounds amazing. Call the Waterworks Heating and Cooling team, 614-333-9720, or schedule service on our website. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better AC.
Bishop and Friends.
Joey, you like these things so much, why don't you try eating these in the contest? A meat stick is going to stay together, but in a non-meat stick situation, it's anarchy.
Bishop and Friends.
Sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Weekdays from 9 to noon.
The Fan.
The Columbus Men's Clinic opened in 2014 for guys who get it done. Let's talk, fellas. You solve problems all day at work. You fix your sink when it's broken, but when it comes to ED and low T, it doesn't get done. We get it. You hate going to the doctor, but you're the guy that fixes things. At the Columbus Men's Clinic, there's nothing to fear and no reason to delay. We've been destroying bedroom boredom for a decade. So if you haven't fixed this, call us. When the pills fail, call us. If you feel like you've tried everything, call us. Here, there's hope. From the conventional to the next level. You'll be seen by our friendly, discreet physician who will take the time to listen. Imagine finally taking care of this with no surgery. Imagine going from feeling gray to living life in vibrant color. It's time to be confident. Join the thousands of guys who have found success after walking through our doors. Will you be one of them? Dial 614-300-7400 or go to ColumbusMen'sClinic.com to schedule a $99 male performance consultation, including blood work. Do it for you. Do it for her. ColumbusMen'sClinic.com. Book your appointment now.
Hey, it's Bobby. When it comes to tackling a project as important as your roof, you want a company that cares about the product and experience they're going to deliver. At Newman Roofing, you're more than just a number. They believe in 100% customer satisfaction. And for your roofing needs, give them a call at 614-NEW-ROOF or NewmanRoofing.com.
This is the White Castle Call of the Crave, and it's telling you to come in now for 10 cheese sliders for just $7.99. 10 cheese sliders for just $7.99. Boom! White Castle. Follow your crave. Limited time only, tax not included.
Hey, it's Anthony here from my friends at Germain Honda of Dublin. Rich is rolling out all of his new Hondas at 2.9% up to 60 months. Just not including the Civic Si and Civic Type R, but all the other awesome new Hondas, 2.9%. You love certified? He has the dream deal. 0.99% APR for 36 months on the 23s and 24s, Civics, HRVs, CRVs, pilots, and passports. When you think Honda, you have to visit Germain Honda of Dublin, Sawmill Road, just south of 270.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Tell the truth with Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
All right, boys, take us home.
Okay, guys, today is National Tooth Fairy Day. Now, I know most kids probably have all of their adult teeth by the age of 12 or 13, but is there an age that is too old for the Tooth Fairy?
30 years old. I mean, this is an easy game. It's an easy game. I'll go lower, 25. No, I mean, if you're over the age of 6 and you're still waiting on the Tooth Fairy, first of all, kudos to your parents that they're able to, like, quietly do that, but... I mean, everybody catches them by the age of 4. And if you're listening and you're a child, the Tooth Fairy is real.
There's just too many jokes the way you set that up. I don't know why. Like, when you ask, like, how old is too old, you're setting us up for a really bad run here. I don't recall. I would say, let's just say, I was going to say single digits is about where you'd cut.
You think if you're 9 years old, you could still have the Tooth Fairy?
Yes.
All right.
I'm going to say single digit. You still have a single digit, you're okay.
Know my truth?
I know my truth.
Okay, guys, we were just talking a little bit about Caleb Downs. I thought this story was pretty cool. He teamed up with a couple of Cornell grads to make an app to kind of streamline the process of athletes getting NIL deals. What would be the ultimate NIL deal for both of you?
I would like the sport of golf to sponsor me. And I don't know who's in charge of the sport of golf. Maybe it's Jay Monahan, then I give him a call. But I would like to be able to play golf anywhere at all times, walk on, no greens fees.
Oh, you're not talking about clothes or equipment. You're talking about...
I'm talking about everything.
Access.
I'm talking about everything. I mean,
I don't know if that... You said this is a dream?
What would be yours?
Yeah, well, you don't hamper my dream. I didn't come into your house and tell you not to live. Yeah, come on now. I didn't tell you. These are my dreams, and this is where I'm sitting.
Give up on your dreams, Adam.
Great, Anthony. I really appreciate that.
I thought you were going more to clothes and equipment. I didn't know you were saying.
Right, fine. I'd like Scotty Cameron to sponsor me.
It's whatever you want.
Nope. Anthony killed that dream. I'm done. Anthony killed it. I'm just Scotty Cameron. That's it. That's all I want.
I thought my job was to tell the public the truth.
Am I not?
Pretty or not?
Did I sacrifice my ability to name mine?
He didn't like your answer. You killed my dream. He killed your answer.
My dream was to kill his dream? Mm-hmm. I think that's what happened.
Exactly.
You guys know what mine is.
It looks like your guys' NIL deal is Coors Light right now. That's what it looks like to me.
That is amazing. They drop a bucket of beer on the set.
But we can't drink it.
They can't drink it. We can just look at it and think about those mountains being nice and blue.
Are those props?
There's always props when I'm involved.
Are those stunt beer cans?
Pick it up and shake it. Let's see.
Have you ever tried these? Have you ever tried these Coors the can or cups like that? They keep everything nice and cold on it. It's beautiful.
Holy cow,
beautiful.
Today's fan poll over at 971thefan.com. I believe that's sponsored by Adam King today.
Ooh.
Which rookie starter will throw for the most yards this year in the NFL? Ooh. Is it Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix, Drake May / Michael Penix? So I guess you get both of those in one.
Well, I'm not going to be Michael Penix. Go ahead.
No, I'm going to go with what I think is... It's not an obvious answer, but I'm going to go with Caleb. He has the most weapons. He's looked good in the preseason. Daniels is someone that I'm tempted in fantasy late based on his athletic and running ability. But if you're talking about passing yards, I'm going with Caleb Williams. He has everything he needs, and he's been looking good.
I'd like to go Jaden Daniels because this is a show and this is entertainment. And if I say Caleb Williams, that's boring. Also,
I want you to tell the truth. That's what the segment's called.
Oh, that's right. Oh, then I'm going to go with Jaden Daniels. But
yeah, you don't have to play it off for the listeners as, just to be different.
Well, I don't want to agree with you on anything. You killed my dreams.
You did.
You killed my dreams right
said
here.
You can't come.
And
you wanted to play, you can't come here.
Guys, we've talked a lot about Deshaun Watson today. Who will start more games for the Browns at quarterback this year? Deshaun Watson or famous Jameis
really?
Winston?
Goodness gracious. Deshaun Watson. All right, that's...
The truth is, no one's horribly confident in Deshaun's health, but I'm going to go on what I know now, and that he's their guy.
Yeah.
And that just stay healthy and you win that bet. If Jameis
stay healthy, though?
Yes, he can stay healthy.
So this is a bet against just his health?
I mean, I would think so, right?
Didn't you make the question?
I'm going to say Deshaun Watson starts more games than Jameis
I didn't
Winston.
know we had to put so much thought into it.
Yeah, it's a yes. It's undoubtedly Deshaun.
Why you always lying?
All right, guys.
The segment has now changed from tell the truth to overthink it.
Killing dreams.
Let's get one more here. Who has who has more receiving yards this year for the Buckeyes? Will it be Carnell Tate or will it be J.J. Smith, who Adam King forgot about?
First of all, nobody's ever forgotten about J.J. Smith. He's plastered everywhere you go, and that's because he's very good. With that said, it is Carnell State season. Number 17 is going to put himself on the map this year. He's going to come into next year as probably the top receiver in the country with J.J. right behind him. So I'm on the 17 train.
The safe one is Tate, just because he's played and he's caught passes.
Now I'm safe.
No, I think that's right. No, I think you guys can agree that the tantalizing talent of Jeremiah Smith is real and that he may have some highlight catches, but if you're asking me about, did he say yards or catches?
I think he said yards.
I'm going to go with Carnell Tate.
The truth shall set you free.
Please set me free.
Yeah. I'm going to go out there and try to live my life now that my dreams have been crushed.
This is what I want you to do.
Okay.
You lied and said that nutrition bar was going to take you till 5 o'clock. You've been down in something over there.
Well, I said food-wise.
Pumpkin Ridge over there.
It's a pumpkin spice latte. Happy first pumpkin day at Starbucks to all to celebrate.
I'm going to make your NIL dream happen. You can play any miniature golf course from here to the coast.
Tiger Woods has that really expensive one. I want endless drinks. Adam's on, Anthony Rothman, Baker, and I are going. It's going to be a great time.
Thank you for coming in, my man.
Hey, thanks for killing my dreams.
I always enjoy it. That's
always a pleasure.
What we're about here. We'll talk to you again tomorrow. Conman and T-Bone up next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Wake up with the Fan. Eat lunch with the Fan. Go to bed with the Fan. Dream about the Fan. Then change your sheets. Gross.
Ew, you guys are gross, but stick around in case I don't find anyone else.
The Fan. This is a Fan Action Update.
A look at some NFL season-long player props for most regular season sacks this year. T.J. Watt of the Steelers and Micah Parsons of the Cowboys are the favorites at 5-1. Myles Garrett has the third best odds at plus 650, followed by Trey Hendrickson at plus 850. Buckeyes on the list. Nick Bosa is 9-1. Joey Bosa comes in at 60-1 for most sacks in the regular season. For your action update, I'm Scotty Vegas.
Experience a piece of history this September and pay tribute to those that have served in the Vietnam War. Delaware County Veterans Services invites you to visit the Wall That Heals from September 12th through the 15th at Havener Park in Liberty Township. Witness the official 3/4 scale replica of the Vietnam Memorial in Washington, D.C. The Wall That Heals is free and open to the public 24 hours a day until 2 p.m. on the 15th. For volunteering opportunities and to learn more, please visit thewallthathealsohio.com.
Hot under the collar? Call Care Heating and Cooling and we'll fix that fast. 1-800-COOLING.
It's back to school time. That means it's time to start saving with Deals for School Days at Giant Eagle and Market District. Deals for Days means tons of discounts on all your favorite lunch items, snacks, and everyday essentials so your students can be ready to take on the day. Featured items will only be available at these amazing prices for a limited time. So don't miss out on Giant Eagle and Market District's Deals for Days for all the best back to school deals. Visit your local Giant Eagle or Market District today.
Bob's Discount Furniture is coming to Polaris, and Bob's Discount Furniture wants you to win big this football season. It's easy. Get online and go to 971thefan.com to register to win a $1,000 gift card to Bob's Discount Furniture, so you can watch your favorite football team sitting in your new Bob's recliner or couch this season. Wow. That's $1,000 from Bob's Discount Furniture. All you have to do is register to win on the Fans Contest page at 971thefan.com. Hurry, contest ends Wednesday, August 28th. See complete contest details online at 971thefan.com.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Do you love cars as much as I do? That might be impossible, but if you think you do, you need to get to Cars and Coffee at Valley Ford of Columbus this Saturday. It's the day to drive in your vehicle and show it off. There's no fee, so tell your friends too. Bring their cars out this Saturday, and it's a Ford F-150 celebration. See all the great trucks and cars this Saturday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Food and fun for you and the whole family. My guys and gals at Valley Ford of Columbus have Cars and Coffee this weekend. And as always, check out their selection online, valleyfordofcolumbus.com.
It's the summer sell down at Performance. Get up to $16,000 off MSRP on new 24 Jeep Wranglers and Grand Cherokees during the Make This the Summer of Jeep event. Performance, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, Georgesville, and Delaware.
Not valid on previous sales. Cannot combine offers. Must take delivery from dealer stock 8/20 to 8/31/24.
August may seem like the end of summer. It also means the beginning of a lot of things, like back to school, festivals, football. At Buckeye Lake Marina, it means the August savings days are upon us. Get huge discounts on all of the new and used boats that they didn't sell. Every pontoon, tri-toon, sport boats, even fishing boats are ready for you. Save thousands on demo models that have been used all summer to show off amazing features. Some have never even been in the water. Take advantage of the August savings days at Buckeye Lake Marina. Their summer hours continue through the entire month of August. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com for details.